Hey, how you doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you another live stream. This is America Part 2. I'm going to go over quite a few different clips as which we normally do on these channels here. So if you are brand new, much love, respect, and appreciation. Shout out to any new subscribers that may come through during this live stream as well, and much love, respect, and appreciation to anybody else directly out there. Yo, what is up, Ty? What is up? What is up? What is up? What is going on? We also got James Hudson in the building. What is up? What's up? You say you got a discharge an hour ago. All right, brother. All right, all right. Hopefully, a full, clean bill of health and everything of that nature. Because Sham, she was asking about you for Risk of Rain too. She was like, "Yo, where's Ty at? Where's Ty at?" Um, so I'm pretty sure if she's not, asleep right now, she'll probably step directly into the live stream. Yo, what is up, Puppet Master? Puppet Master said, love this movie. Seen it a couple of days ago. Same as well. The most interesting thing is a lot of the others directly out there that want to give their opinion. You got some people, I guess, for clickbait reasons, want to try to say that's a bad movie and all this other type of stuff. But we're going to listen to Ryan Coogler explain a few things here when it deals with Sinners. And I just also want to state that I think Sinners, in the totality at this moment in time, somebody can go back and check the numbers. I think it should be up to about 161 point something million that it has brought in so far, and others have estimated that it is on its way to making about a good 2 to 300 million dollars. Also, shout out to Will Davis. Shout out to Mr. Love. So let's just take a listen to what the brother has to state.
And talk about what you negotiated in making Sinners, the arrangement you had with Warner Brothers. The New York Times reports Warner Brothers agreed to spend $90 million to make Sinners and agreed to give you a cut of gross ticket sales, now rare arrangement known as first dollar gross, meaning before they recoup their costs, you're getting money as well. Warner also agreed, and this is absolutely key, to relinquish its ownership of the film to you after 25 years. The Times reports, quote, some rival film companies were horrified that Warner Brothers would give a film away even after a period of time. Talk about these key components of your contract and
People
why
out there
this was
scared.
so critical for you, Ryan Coogler.
That's a great question. I mean, what I will do is I'll maybe add some context that maybe those articles didn't add. I'm not the first filmmaker to get any of these deals, and Warner Brothers is not the first studio to provide these deals to a filmmaker. So like I think that a lot has been made of my deal in particular. I'm not totally sure why.
I could tell you why.
I have my guesses. But I've been in the industry long enough to know what kind of deals are possible, and nothing about this deal is a new thing.
What's your guesses, Ryan?
It is not a I'd rather not say. but like the attention on. The attention on what's happening with this project, outside of it as a piece of art and as a piece of commerce has been very interesting, but for me, this film was very important to me.
What's up, Blake?
As a writer director, I've made over $2 billion at the global
Woo!
box office. I'm not yet 40 years old.
That's crazy.
It's taken a lot of time, commitment, energy, and I've missed out on a lot of things in my life. Making films that will always be owned by other people. For this one, because it was so personal, and because I had the ability to negotiate. I asked for a few things that were very important to me for this project. And for what it was about and what it meant to me and my family. And thankfully, I was able to get those things I was asking for from Warner Brothers.
That's dope.
Did not.
That man said he got $2 billion under his belt when it deals with him and film creation. That's crazy. And the one of the main reasons why this is so interesting. Let me see if I can pull up the image. If I can, because there was a specific post that Netflix had up, and they were in a sense trying to state that the movie industry is dying, this, that, and the third, and how they're trying to get more people just to watch Netflix. And I'm like, it's interesting that this type of thing would come out after this movie has shown up. And they want to also state that the streaming platforms saved Hollywood. The only reason that the streaming platforms are even where they are at this moment in time, you can think the pandemic. Let me show y'all this real quick. Let me just put that image directly up there so that y'all can get what it is that I'm talking about. Because I'm like, that's a little bit interesting to try to say that people going to the movies, like right here. Netflix CEO Ted Sanderos stated releasing movies in theaters is an outmodeled idea for most people, and that Netflix is saving Hollywood. Where? That's not saving Hollywood. It's it's not. Like I said, the only reason that the streaming services have even made a name for themselves at this moment in time, the reason that you got like a Peacock, a Hulu, a Netflix, and all of these other places why they're big business is because of the pandemic. You take the pandemic directly out, you take out that 2.5, almost 3 years, you take that out of the equation. Yeah, these streaming services wouldn't be able to give the prices that they give at this moment in time, 24, 27, almost $30 just for a month. $30 a month. And a lot of the streaming services, they got trash directly up there. They might have some hits directly up there, but amongst that is a lot of trash. It's the same thing with playing video games on Steam. Steam has, for a lot of those who are not gamers, Steam is basically a large library of games. Anything that you want to be able to play, they pretty much got it directly up there. So Steam has a lot of hits, but there's hundreds of thousands, dare I say millions of trash video games directly up there. So that's the same thing like Netflix. So it's like, nah, it's like, really, what are you paying for? If you're only going to use it for a few movies here and there directly out of the year, why are you paying $30? There's no reason to pay $30. I'm not the type of person where I'm going to be on Netflix every single day, just binge watching and watching this. And nah, I'm not about to set up $30 is not that. No, we're not doing that. Bring that back down to about like $15, maybe $12. Yeah. All right. Nah, $30. No. Like I said, movie tickets right now are basically $25 to $30, and that's for like one person. And that's not even adding in anything from the concession stands at all. At all. So yeah, like I said before, it's very interesting that Netflix wants to pull up to the scene and say, all of these things and wants to put that directly out there. Because the only people that's really winning in this is Netflix. Because they have the licensing, they got the rights and all this other type of stuff when it deals with the movie specifically on their platform, and they can make sure that only their platform has certain movies and everybody else doesn't have those. So it's like, yeah, only Netflix is winning directly in that. If Netflix did not, in a sense, have a monopoly or a first-hand dibs on certain things, yeah, Netflix wouldn't be able to say the things that it's saying right now. Like, that's crazy. I would have rather sit up there and go directly to the movies and spend money, be out there socially, versus just, in a sense, in the house. The only thing that's a positive about being in home watching movies is the fact that you don't have to deal with the congestion. You don't got to deal with the long lines. It's pretty much you can come there and you can watch the movie. You can pause it, go to the bathroom and all the other type of stuff without skipping or missing a beat. But Netflix is not going to outbeat all of the high moments. Like case in point, like if anybody went to the movie theaters and saw Endgame, any of the Marvel films where they had like their peak in the movie, right? When Thanos did like the snap, when Captain America came through with Thor's hammer and was, fighting Thanos, and then the scene after that where Falcon, where everybody got revived and Falcon came directly through, right? It was almost like if you think about Noah during or after the flood, where you had like the birds and the dove with the olive branch, whatever it was, flying directly, through the air. It was sort of, like that. And then you saw like the portals open and you saw everybody that you've seen throughout the last 10 or whatever years just pull through in that film as backup for, Captain America. And then the real fight, took place and happened. If you were there, even if you were to go online right now and watch everybody just erupt for that moment, like you get that type of feel. You can't get that feeling at home. You can't get that type of energy at home where you got just a random grouping of people that nobody knows anybody, but as soon as that moment arises, that energy, it just pops. It's there. You can't get that. Netflix can't give you that. No streaming service can give you that. They even tried that with wrestling, where they had the almost like a Zoom call meeting when it dealt with wrestling during the pandemic. You still couldn't get that, right? Because it's an in-person experience. No streaming service could recreate that, because it's just a natural, human type of thing. And what streaming services basically does is that it robs everyday people of that type of experience, you know. So just saying. Um, what was it? Like number 13. I never saw the movie, but I read the comic book of Infinity Gauntlet. Glad it made everyone happy. Playout fell back in the early 90s when I first read the comic. Yeah. Hood Assassin, yeah. Yeah, same here. I have my pet peeves directly with the film itself when it deals with a lot of the Marvel films, but I can separate how I view things from a comic book standpoint to how everybody else mainstream wise is going to look at it. Because, like I said before, people who are into comics, we know that people mainstream wise, they're not going to really do research. They're going to just now hear about a Marvel character. Now just, get interested and just try to look at some surface level type stuff, while people who are in the comics is like, yo, I don't know why they exactly did this, because that's not how that was. Because like the way that the Marvel heroes got dismantled by Thanos one by one in the comic, oh Lord, turning people into like Legos, glass, sitting up there just shattering people, Cyclops getting like a cube wrapped around his head, directly out of there. Iron Man, done. Nova, done. She-Hulk, out of there. You know, Wolverine, basically rubber. Like it was crazy work. Like there was nothing literally that they could, in a sense, do. And then the way that inevitably everything came to an end was, in a whole different way. How it took place. And then on top of that, because the Infinity Stones, they actually come from a whole nother being, and she herself, being that being, out of loneliness, separated herself into said stones. Technically you should have about, I think there should be like seven stones, if I'm actually counting correctly. And there's also some other things directly to it, but yeah, it's some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Let me see what we got. Somebody said that's amazing, pretty simple actually. Thanos was a simp. I mean, yeah, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. They didn't technically put it that way in this film, but it was technically sort of kind of still there. Like I said, the whole aspect of Lady Death, that should have realistically have been there. but they opted not to do it. And then that would have been a later tie-in for Deadpool, and then that would have been another tie-in for Thanos and Deadpool having their rivalry and problems, and Thanos giving him immortality just to curse him so that he couldn't be with. Like I said, it was a whole storyline directly with that we're never going to get a chance to get, because they opt in a lot of these Marvel films to just, get rid of a lot of villains, which again is quite stupid, nonsensical. It makes no type of sense. Like what they did with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Venom, crazy work. I think they did that again with Carnage as well, crazy work, and so on and so on. So just want to go directly, over that. Let me see. I'm trying to see something real quick. Anyways, we're going to go directly over to the next video that we have. And it is a classic, but a goodie. It is a black man just wanting to fish. And we already know what's going to sit up there and happen dealing with Karens. So here we go.
Trespassing. It says no fishing, no trespassing.
But we got permission to be out here.
From who?
My friend lives out here. The police came by, ma'am, and they literally told us we can fish, clean up the spot.
Don't own this property.
But they told us we can fish. You literally seen them just leave off.
Yeah, you've got people trespassing on Bridgewater property now. And he's telling me the police just came by, which is false. It says no trespassing, no fishing. And they're on our property.
Give me the address where they are.
They're both black. One's got long dreads and the other one's got a short haircut with a beard. And they're holding the fish. And there are two signs there saying, one says no trespassing, one says no fishing.
What's your name?
My name is Yaja Bornstein. I'm going to go into my... Yeah.
So this woman by the name of Elijah Bornstein decided that she wanted to, just call the police on black guys fishing, even though the police had already came out there and said that they were good to go for fishing. And then decided to call the police again and be like, yeah, no, what they said was false. The police didn't come out here. The police didn't tell them that. So I need y'all to come back out here and rectify this situation, because it's crazy to say that the cops is lying. It was just fictitious. Like, this just never happened. That's some crazy work. Oh man. Oh my goodness. Gotta love America. Got to love America. Let me tell you that is some crazy work. Shout out to this brother here. Shout out to a black man just doing something normal that everybody else basically does, and just magically still getting in trouble for it. It's some crazy work. Just relax and mind his business. Caught, two fish. It's crazy work. Crazy work. But anyways,
Black woman.
we're going to go to the next video where this young black woman here is going to give a little bit of history, some of which that I've may have gone over directly on this channel before, where it deals with the medical history of the United States and how it is that they ended up learning about women, especially doing surgery on women, and who were the original people used in order to educate the rest.
If you're a black woman, I beg you to watch this video. I literally just learned something today, and I'm sharing it because I feel like it's important that we all know. Alright, so y'all know I'm a first year medical student, and one of my interests is being an OB. So I went to an interest group, and basically they were teaching us about the history of the field. Okay, so this man right here, his name is Marion Sims, and he is known as the father of gynecology. I learned that he was able to create this field through research, but his research came from experimenting on enslaved women. Adults, minors, it didn't matter. They were non-consenting, and get this, he did not use anesthesia. And the crazy part is, anesthesia was widely available at the time, so he just chose not to. But once he started becoming recognized for his research in the field, of course, he started operating on white women, not experimenting, operating, so consenting, people. And of course, he used anesthesia. But the worst part is like when this is put in medical textbooks or history textbooks, it is done in a way that makes it seem like, basically justifies what he did by saying that black people have a higher pain tolerance. And so medical students have literally learned this like in school, that we have a higher pain tolerance. And that is one of the reasons why we get ignored or less likely to get pain medication in a hospital when we say we're in pain. And I'm talking about, this is current. There are doctors, like surveys you can look up of doctors admitting that the way they administer pain medication is different for a white person versus a black person. And it's so shocking because when I looked up his name to try to find a picture for this video, this is the first thing that popped up. So he rose from humble origin to become a successful surgeon, teacher, and writer. It's an article basically like discussing, is this man a hero or a villain? There's nothing to debate. This man violated tons of black women. But of course, because he's white, his legacy still exists. And because of his actions, it has led to many biases that have caused a lot of black women's deaths, because they were not listened to when they were in pain, especially during childbirth. So yeah, I definitely may be an OB, because I don't think I can sit by and just ignore this without doing anything.
So yes, that's just a little bit of history, and I did see somebody list the book Medical Apartheid. I actually have that book. That is a part of my library of books directly out there. So yes, we have quite a few other than also Medical Apartheid. We have some other books too that delve directly into the history and how it is that the medical field has experimented on and used black people, and more specifically in this instance, black women, in order to learn about the female body and to be able to perform surgeries and so on and so on and so on. And again, as she stated before, this is why, and I've seen it with my own eyes, going to hospitals with black women and seeing how the doctors specifically treat them, or are quote unquote reluctant to give them medications that are needed for pain, because they feel that if a black woman is in pain and she's hollering, she's screaming, she's obviously faking so that she can get the medication and sell it somewhere, which is crazy work. I'm like, I'm not sure how it is that you have that thought process and you're in the medical field. With that thought process, you should never be in the medical field, because you're making crazy assumptions. Because when you look at the misuse of medications directly out here, you can see what primary demographic are the ones going to the hospital, getting all of these very highly expensive prescriptions, and what is taking place specifically in those community with those women, with those men, with those kids. So, like I said before, but a lot of people would rather assume and say that, black people are up to no good, versus actually paying attention to the obvious and noticing that it's, not black people on, that type of time. But it'd be like that. It be like that. Anyways, we're going to go to another video. Ashley King said the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks. Yeah, that's one of the individuals that I have covered directly on this channel as well too. And the fact that you have had, by way of the United States, aka white people, who decided to take that woman's DNA, and they wanted to use it in order to make all different types of medicines, vaccines, and everything like that. So realistically, a lot of people out here, no matter how racist you are, you better be thanking the fact that that black woman even existed, because a lot of people on this planet would not even be alive, especially you, when it deals with how it is that you're, matter of fact, not even just you, your whole bloodline, if it wasn't for Henrietta Lacks and her immortal cells. So, just want to put that directly out there. Anyways, let's go to another video dealing with America, an oldie but a goodie. And you have a black father that was simply trying to get his child directly to the hospital. And let's see the reaction and the timing of the cops when the situation is being explained.
Turn around. Put it in park. Turn around. No. Leave it. Get out. Believe it. I'm gonna kill you. Get out. Sit down. My kids are gonna live. My kids ain't gonna stop that car. I can park. My kids. I gotta get my kids in the car. I'm trying to get my daughter to the hospital. My door ground. I'm trying to get my door. Man, you don't run. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my door. That ain't how you do that, Dolph. It was a simple call. Get off. Get on your feet. Get on your feet. Stand up. I'm trying to get up. Man, I tried to stop you from speeding, dickhead. Man, I'm sorry back there, man. I'm trying to put my daughter's seat. I tried to stop.
So, as we were clearly able to see, the father did not care about, what the officer was trying to sit up there and say. He's trying to tell him, like, yo, hey, my kids is in the car. My kids is in the car. My kids in the car. The car is sitting up there rolling. Dude was probably just in a rush, right? So you more than likely forgot to, put on the parking brake, whatnot, or whatever. But obviously, we can see the car rolling. The father stated multiple times, my kids in the car, my kids in the car. The white cop is like, I don't even care nothing about that. Get on the ground, stay right there, put your hands. He kept giving all of these orders instead of both of the officers. Obviously, the dude is not going to run nowhere. He tried to go back and stop the car. The cop is like, you better not do that. You better listen to what it is, and I'm telling you. And the dude is like, my kids in the car, and the car is just slow rolling. And the white cop is just not caring. He's like, whatever, I don't even care. Get on the ground. I'm like, you have to. This is what black people be talking about with the police training directly out there. So you would rather sit up there and not listen to the black man and what it is that he is stating. You would rather that car directly go and veer directly into traffic. You would rather those kids potentially get injured. You would rather a whole car accident happens versus listening to a black man that is simply trying to tell you what is going on. This is what black people be talking about. And then you had the other, the black cop show up like, that's not how you do it. We ain't trying to hear none of that. You should have went about this a different. Bro, what are you talking about right now? Because like I said before, I promise you, let this have been somebody white, this would not have been the experience. This would not have been the video. It would have been one of those heartwarming videos like, oh my God, this cop has so much compassion. He realized that the severity of the situation, and instead of writing a ticket or trying to pull the person out of a car, he decided to sit up there and specifically escort them, at the highest speeds possible, at light speed, directly to the hospital, potentially even saving this child's life because they were having a fever of 108. That would have been the headline of the story all across the news if the person was white. But if you're black and you're trying to simply get your child to the hospital because they are sick or they're going through something, chances are very great that this is what you're going to have to go through. These are the type of cops that you're going to have to deal with. Like I said, that's crazy work. That's 100% crazy work. Like I said, multiple times he sat up there and said, like, yo, my kid's in the car. My kid's in the car. It's crazy work. 100%. So now we're going to go to one of the most hated men. And I've covered this brother before. And I've had people, over time on my platform for quite about a few years tell me like, yo, man, why are you sitting up there agreeing with this dude? Why are you sitting up there doing this? Why are you sitting up there doing that? Because this guy has specifically told the black community that I'm going to create something. You didn't want to pay attention to me when I was intelligent and doing this and doing that. No problem. I'm going to create a character so that I can get your attention because that's the type of time that you're on. You're not about listening or paying attention to anybody that's articulate or intelligent or highly educated about topics and fields and subjects. No problem. I'm going to sit up there and give you the normal thing that you like hearing from so that I can grab your attention. Right? So we're going to listen to Charleston White for a brief second and hear what he is going to say.
You really think these white people go give you money to help you, and you're really trying to help? That's why the people who really trying to help don't ever get the money. Nobody wants to fix this black community because people make too much money off our pain, our anger, all the shit that we cause. It helps so many other more people. The detriment that's happening to us is financial benefits for whether that's going to prison. Our pain is financial benefit for other people. People make money during tragedy. And they rely on our tragedy to fund a bunch of shit in this country.
So there we go. So Cupid, who you talking about? Because like I said, this is a live stream. So let me be very specific, right? Because you said it's always one of us cheerleading for the ops. So let me know. Let me know. Are you directing that towards me? Because I didn't see the ad. I'm not sure if that was just like a generalized statement. I don't know. What happened? Okay. So I see what you're talking about. You're talking about the whole story dealing with the cops. Okay, I got you. I got you. So you're a little bit further back. I got you. No problem. No problem. Because that comment rolled up as soon as I played the video. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, hold on. Because yeah, now see, so just to get everything straight. So yeah, Cupid was, responding back to the cop video. So I got it. I got you. But yeah, so these are the videos that I tend to show off when it deals with Charleston White and the things that he is talking about. Everything that he stated is 100% factual. Our pain and suffering is money for everybody else. So that be the whole thing directly there. Anytime that Black Americans have a discourse or there's a topic directly online that is, I guess, like have some negative thing directly attached to it, everybody else hurries up and cashes in. This is when people start making TikToks, people start making IGs, people will wrap around and make whole YouTube videos. And these are people of other cultures, and they're able to profit off of what is happening and going on in the Black community, especially a lot of discourse. Because I've seen people who are African specifically making platforms where they're talking about Black American subjects. And I'm like, yo, you're not even here. I'm like, how are you even talking about something that you ain't even experienced? You're not even living with us. You're not even near us. You never even been raised around us. But it's like, I'm hearing these people with these thickest accents. And I'm like, I know you've never been here. But I'm like, magically, you got this thought process and this theory about Black Americans because all you are able to see is just stuff online. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's crazy. That is 100% crazy. That is 100% crazy. Kodog said, listen to the message, not the messenger. And that's the main thing that I try to state in a lot of instances. Because when it happens to deal with the Black community, it comes time and time again where people are like, we need the perfect person to deliver a message. You got to be basically close to God. You got to be the cleanest person out here to give us that message. But then on top of that, when you do have somebody that is the closest to God to give you that message, people like, man, how you going to sit up there and judge us and you live your life this way and that way and you never been through or suffered the way that we suffer. So how you going to really, like I said, goalpost always gets moved. Every single time that there is somebody out there potentially, wanting to highlight something or lead Black people on a more positive trajectory or whatnot or whatever, Black people always move the goalpost. They always shift, everything around so that that person can't fit that mold. So that they got to jump through more hoops and more hoops and more hoops and more. Like I said before, this is why we don't realistically have Black leaders directly out here. This is why we do not have Black leaders out here. Like I said before, the Black community is the utmost critical when it deals with people who want to at least try to do something. The masses are highly critical, but then the masses really don't want to get up and, in a sense, be that leader. A lot of instances where people like, I put it to you like this, right? You got people who would speak like Tariq. You got people who would speak like Dr. Umar. You got people who would speak like Charleston White and many other people directly out there. And the main thing I can sit up there and say, regardless on how people have personal feelings, even though I know a lot of people don't know these guys personally, whatever people's personal feelings are, the fact of the matter is that these men are going out there and at least trying or doing something to make an impact says a lot. Versus a lot of those out there who would rather sit up there and judge and not do anything at all and just sit still. Like I said, to me, that's always been crazy. 1,000%, it's always been crazy. And when I always ask people, I'm like, all right, so if you want to get rid of like let's say not have a Dr. Umar be speaking directly on these platforms about anything dealing with black issues. No problem. So are you going to step up? Or are you going to be the next one in line to sit up there and do it and move this? And 9 times out of 10, people are like, no, I'm not going to do it. Why am I going to do it? Why should I have to sit up there and be responsible? I'm only responsible for myself. I'm not even this. I'm not even that. And the black community is not even. It's always a goalpost moving. It's always some type of excuse. So I'm like, so what's the use of complaining if you're not going to step up and take their place? Why complain? So you're just complaining just to complain. That's it. You're just complaining just to complain. Like, that's some crazy work. Let me see. Our leaders have been set up to be sabotaged since MLK days. They are under the worst scrutiny, like Minister Farrakhan. I mean, it'd be like that. The United States government literally told black people that you're not going to have a black messiah unless we make one and give it to you. They literally said that. That was white folks. They literally said that. So yeah, it's going to be like that, because if they can't have control over somebody, they're going to sit up there and destroy it. Yes, that's what they did with the Black Panther Party. So it'd be like that. To El Salvador, if he could, he can't fool me. Like I said, you got personal. Like I said, you might have like some personal things with Charleston White, and like I said, that's cool and great. But my main thing is what he just spoke on right now. Ain't nothing like dissect that. Like I said, you can have all the personal problems and whatnot, or whatever that you want to have with Charleston White. Dissect what it is that he just literally brought up on how it is that when you have black people out here that genuinely want to do the right thing for the black community, they can never seem to get support. White people ain't going to sit up there and give you support. Other people of other communities are not going to give you support. And especially black people in the community are not going to give you that support. There are a lot of black people right now that would want to build up and progress and move the community, at least their block, forward. But do you think that black people on their block want to sit up there and donate and give them money? No. Black people are the most distrusting people when it deals with their own people. Now, if somebody white wanted to come in and they wanted to help build up the black community, build up schools and fix the roads and fix the streets and all this other type of stuff, then black people, oh yeah, Mr. White Man, let me sit up there and give you $100 million real quick. No problem. Right off the bat. Black people not debating. They're not arguing. They're not trying to bring up history. They're not trying to do this. They're not trying to do that. No problem, Mr. White Man. We're going to sit up there and give that to you. But when you got somebody in the black community, grassroots, that's grown up there, that's lived there, experienced things there, we're the utmost distrusting of those people who look just like us. That's some crazy work. That's 100% crazy work. Like I said, and this is why you have so few. I'll take it to a further extent. This is why you have so few black people in this type of thing when it deals with YouTube. Like I want you to take note. Anybody that got, let's say, like issues with Tariq, with Dr. Umar, with Charleston White, and many others directly out there that I can't name off the top of the dome at this moment. I want you to think about the landscape of the internet at this moment in time. Think about how many black faces or black American content creators that you have directly out here just doing stuff for entertainment purposes. Versus look at the landscape and tell me how many black American people do you have actually talking about serious politics, social issues, and different things like that, highlighting news. It's not a lot. It's literally a night and day comparison. I can tell you because I've been here for a while. You got way more black people focused on entertainment versus on actual social, political, economic type things. Because the entertainment is what's going to bring in money. Black people support entertainment, and that is just a fact. I don't care what nobody has to sit up there and say. You ain't debate me because I'm literally in the space and I see it all day long. Black people would rather pull money together and throw money at people that are there for entertainment purposes to help them escape reality versus actually dealing with and dissecting said reality and trying to make that better. And those are just the facts. Like, it's some crazy work. So for Chris, who you talking about? Because like I said, this is a live stream because I can clearly respond directly to you. So if you talking directly to me, I need you to hit, as an adult, hit the @ and then SEIJIHITO, whichever channel you responding to me from, or just respond to whoever you're responding to. Because if I happen to see something that looks a little bit odd directly in the comment section, I feel like it looks like it's a little bit pointed towards me because I'm trying to read through the comments real quick. I'm going to sit up there and make sure to make a response. So I'm just trying to figure out who specifically are you trying to address. Let me know. Let me know, because like I said, I'm about trying to have conversations because again, I've done this for so long and I've seen so many people roll up to this platform and try to tell me, oh, said you always point out this, point out that, but you never have solutions. But then when I decide to make videos, 15, 25, 30-minute long, or if I happen to have live streams where I'm talking for a few hours about actual solutions that people can sit up there and apply, that I've even applied myself in my own life, magically people don't pull up to the scene. Magically people don't register those videos. And then they still come back to me talking about like, oh, matter of fact, let me show y'all something. Let me show you how crazy it is directly out here. And I showed this directly to Sham earlier. I had somebody actually pull up to the scene underneath one of my videos, and they had some a nice little word directly for me, had a problem, and this was under a video that I did with Trump, and this is like my third time doing this video, right? Because I ain't even going to try to go back and re-download it. So this person had some words directly for me. So let me see. What did Chris say? You said facts. LOL. Opinions aren't facts, guys. I'm not even. I asked you to specifically, brother. I literally sat up there and asked you straight up, called you out, highlighted the comment, and I asked you to sit up there and reply. You would rather pay more attention to the people in the comment section typing and reply to them before you would actually reply to the person live that is speaking to you. Like I said, this is it's clown work out here. Like I said, when I give people a chance to actually have a logical conversation, they would rather duck that and be talking to people in the comment section versus the person that's actually addressing them. No problem. No problem. Let me see. Okay, obviously Evelyn must have a problem with Charleston White. Okay, so let me just show off this real quick, and this isn't the first time that I've had somebody leave a comment like this, right? And a lot of times I don't happen to highlight the names of people, but you left it directly on my channel. I don't know who this Warrior Cherub 999 is, but he decided to come directly to my platform underneath the Trump video, and he was like, I knew I shouldn't have subscribed to your scary raccoon self, shaking my head. So because I decided to, and I want people to know the video that I did directly on Trump, I was informing people that, hey, just in case that you might not know, Trump still has 4 years. And there are certain individuals out there that are trying to amend the amendment so that a president, aka Trump, would be able to serve a third term. So like I said before, when I try to do educational videos, not even try, when I actually do and create educational videos to educate other people directly out there on things that they may not know, I happen to get stuff like this, or videos like that get the lowest views possible. So like I said before, it's some crazy work. 100% crazy work how that tends to go. Who is he even talking to? Let me see. That doesn't even make any sense. Um, I'm sitting up here just looking through the comments. Caveman said 3 terms. Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah. So basically, as I was stating directly in that video, you have a Republican by the last name of Ogles, and he was trying to amend the amendment to allow Trump to be able to serve a 3rd term as long as you have never served 2 consecutive terms. And Trump hasn't, because during Trump's time, he was quote unquote impeached and all this other type of stuff. Then you had Biden come directly in, and now Trump is back in office. So he did not have 2 consecutive terms. He had separate terms. He served once. After that was Biden, and now he's back in there again, which means that if this does pass 2028, he would be able to run again. And then I also put another scenario up there that I thought about, which is if, let's say, his son or sons happen to run and one of them happens to actually legitimately makes it, right? Who would his son's vice president be? It will be his father. He would have his father directly on the ticket. So the son, for whatever reason, I can't really serve, I'm feeling sick, whatnot, or whatever, I'm going to pull back. And what normally happens when somebody can't serve as the main president, the vice president steps in. So therefore, Trump will be able to serve in that way. Like I said, there's a multitude of ways of which this could literally take place that a lot of people aren't even, thinking about. So, just putting that directly out there. Obviously, I clearly see who the trolls directly are. Ishmael, what is up? What up? You said, or even Vance. Yeah, he could do the Vance could happen to do the same thing as well too. He could happen to run, have Trump directly on the ticket, and they could happen to win. Trump is basically vice president, and Vance could step down. There you go. Like I said, it's a multitude of ways that this could happen, and go down. Again, this is like my 3rd time, I think, making a video directly on this. So again, I'm not really too shocked that the video did not get views as I feel like it should have. But that's what happens when you want to do informative videos or videos that in a sense mean a little bit more, that you want to put a little bit more effort directly into. And this is why I told people have those videos to do originally, because it doesn't go anywhere. You gotta do what it is that the people are responding to. So if people happen to respond to just entertainment type videos, hey, I'm going to put that out there. Like I said, at least I'm honest. I'm not going to sit up there and sugarcoat it. I'm not going to try to dance around a masquerade directly. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is that I'm going to do, because I'm responding to what is showing up. I'm responding to what it is that other people responding to. I'm like, all right, no problem. This is what you want. I'm going to give you the food that you wish. Right? I'm not going to chef it up. I'm going to give you fast food. No problem. Right? I'm going to give you that 5-minute grits real quick. You don't want it on the stove, and you don't want to take no problem. I give you that instant grits. We got you. No problem. Let me see. What do we got directly up here? We got more trolls stepping directly into the chat. Shout out to all the trolls. Y'all the real MVPs directly out here. You could be anywhere else in life, spending time with your family, your kids, making money, doing Forex, doing stocks and trades and crypto, but you decide to be directly right here. Hey, it'd be like that. So now we're going to touch on a little bit more of American history. Because you got, again, a lot of people out here that don't seem to understand the actual history when it deals with what it is that Black Americans had to deal with. So we're going to look at some of the older books, and I wish, oh my God, I wish I could actually get my hands on some of these books. I would do videos. I would do a crazy amount of videos if I was able to get my hand on at least even just one book. So let's just take a look at some of this history here.
You read about slavery in history books, but reading the wills of slave owners, you see how they really treated their slaves like property, handing them down from one relative to another. Back in the 1800s, that property included slaves. Fulton County Chief Probate Court Judge Kenya Johnson showed me wills her office discovered from back then where slave owners wrote what should happen to their slaves when the owners died.
It is my will and declare that all my Negro slaves divided into 5 lots. I bequeath to my daughter, Margaret Rebecca, my Negro woman, Jen, of dark complexion, and all of her children, to her and to her heirs forever.
Judge Johnson had her staff go through the wills to see what slave owners did with their slaves when she realized she had documents before the Civil War. Says it's one thing to read about it in history books, another to see and touch the actual records. Staff found one will that caught them by surprise. A slave owner wanted his more than 30 slaves paid and sent back to Africa when he passed.
When they start to Liberia, in the event.
So let me just see this. We got Chris Jensen. What is up? You must be new here. I get y'all here every day. So he said, geez, for Christ's sakes, man. Don't you talk about anything else but black this and black that. I thought y'all don't see color. What happened? How are you even talking about black? I thought y'all don't see color. So how does black even register directly in your mind? Shouldn't it just be a human being talking about human things, human experiences, of which that other people may not have specifically experienced themselves? And you also got detailed writing by way of the owners of said human beings. Shouldn't that actually be the thing, Chris? Shouldn't that be the thing? Let me know. But like I said, I'm just trying to sit up there and figure out, because this is coming from the same complexion, the same group of people that always sit up there and say that I don't see color. Why does everything have to be about race? And then you start in mentioning race. What are we doing here? How? Like, it's the craziest thing is that when people start actually pointing out the facts, and they can give you word by word documented history of by which way you guys wrote down in these very large books. Now it's a problem when we're pointing it out and we want to talk about it. We want to delve deeper directly into that history. I could have sworn that history was one of the main things that are taught from elementary all the way up to college, and even still to this day. But I guess it's only a certain type of history where you guys can feel safe and secure, where you guys don't feel like you're being attacked, right? Because whenever we start talking about slavery and bondage, you guys are like, oh my God, they're talking about this again. They're talking about reparations. They're going to look back and they're going to talk about race, right? Y'all start really freaking out because you feel like the walls are closing in. But realistically, at your core, you feel that by us talking about this, that it's going to also hit your younger, more malleable persons, aka your kids, directly out here, and they're going to see what types of human beings that the whole grouping is. And you don't want those malleable individuals to get wise directly to that, because unlike the other generations, they're going to be like, yo, what's up? What type of time are y'all on? Like, your own white kids are going to be looking at you like, yo, this was like grandma and grandpa. Like, this is the type of time that y'all are on. Y'all were literally passing down other human beings to forever serve you for eternity. Like, that's really what we're doing. Yeah. Y'all, they're not trying to have that happen, because y'all already on like this whole, tightrope as it is. You're not trying to have, as you guys would like to say, your kids be woke or driven into this DEI revisitist history and all this other type of, like I said, some crazy work out here. It is some crazy work. Diabolical in nature. To come through here and have a problem, and you want to try to act as though that you don't see color, but you're going to talk about color and try to say that I'm the one being problematic when it was your people that literally did this. How we do that? How do we get the audacity, the gall that you got? That's some crazy work. Shout out to the white people out there that always want to pull through and do this every single time. Shout out to the trolls, the bots, whoever. I love it. Every single day, it just keeps proving me right. But anyways, we're going to go directly to the next video, and it's a little bit different, right? Because we got a lot of people out here that's like, why we always got to talk about race? No problem, I got you. So we're gonna go to a whole different perspective where we're gonna have this brother here who is, and I want to state he is a billionaire. So realistically, can't nobody else speak on it better than he can, because he's had more money than a lot of people in their generations combined times 20. So he's going to specifically speak on the fantasy versus reality of this whole thing of how people want a certain type of guy making a certain type of money. So let's take a listen.
And it appears a lot of other people in this generation thinks that there's a bunch of folks running around who look like her at 32 years of age, making $200,000 a year. My brother Roland Martin sent this to me. Thank you, Roland, for the heads up. Let me help you out here. And so that's her criteria. She wants somebody 32 years of age making $200,000 a year. By the way, no, you want somebody 32 years of age or whatever your age criteria who loves you, who will ride or die with you, who believes in you and your purpose and your passion. This is the money guy talking to you, telling you to stop focusing on money. Stop being so shallow.
So let me just give you the name of a guy, because I don't have it directly up there. The guy's name is John Hope Bryant. He is CEO of operations of Hope Incorporated. They said that John Hope Bryant's network is not publicly available, while he founded and leads numerous companies and organizations, including Operation Hope, and his work has raised and deployed over $4.5 billion into unserviced communities. He has not made his personal net worth public. And they also stated that he does not claim to be a billionaire, according to his Instagram. It's very easy for a lot of people to say that when you got your assets tied up into other things. So when people look at you, it doesn't, in a sense, look like you are. But when you add up the assets and the different things that people have money, directly split into, you can pretty much guess what a person is. But this is basically a black man who is of money. Like he has built his whole, network and everything like that. So he can more explain and deep dive directly into the fallacies that are dealing with the type of thought processes that you see online with how it is that a guy should be making 200K and all this other type of stuff, right? So let's continue.
Because you're going to get what you're putting out. If you're transactional, they're going to be transactional, right? If you're not interested in a real relationship, they're not going to be interested in one either. If you're going to drop them if they lose their job, they'll drop you when you lose your looks. Can I get an amen? So just knock it off. But here's the real deal. If you want to talk about the facts, the average person about 32 years of age makes about $48,000 a year. Okay. Let me help you out here. There's only 10% of all black households that make $100,000 a year. The whole household. There's only like 8 or 9% of black people, individuals, who make $100,000 a year. The number was 4 to 5% in the year 2000. So in 25 years, great progress. We've gone from 4 to 5% of folks making 100,000 to 8 or 9%. So that is fantastic. And that's 25 years, but there's nowhere near what you're talking about. You're talking about making $200,000 a year? A black man in America? I mean, it's only 1% of all people in this country, everybody, including college-educated white people, making $200,000 a year. Get this in your head. You're delusional. So the number for black men that you're looking for is probably 0.02%, not 1%, 0.02%. That person has to be available. Somebody else is looking for him, right? That person has to be available, interested, in your demographic range, in your city or in your plane, straight. I mean, he's got to be in a place where he wants a relationship. Like, so many things have to line up that it's almost mathematically impossible. Okay. So you just need to find somebody who actually loves you and will put up with your madness and your list of specifications. I keep hearing so much of this stuff of folks who are just delusional, telling the world what their criteria is when they don't meet the criteria themselves.
Oh,
drop the mic. All right, I'm out. John Hope Bryant. Get my book, Financial Literacy for All. It's #1 in the country. It's on Walmart, the paperback and the hardcover, and Amazon, #1. Or go to your black bookstore, by the way. Go to Operation Hope for financial literacy coaching and counseling. with scholarships for you.
Oh, and then this is the other thing that I talked about as well too. As he stated before, he's like, "Yo, you got." He said 0.02%, not a whole percent, 0.02 or 0.01% of black men out there sitting up there making that type of money. So what that basically means is that if you think about this whole planet, right? Let's say you got about like 3 billion women directly out here, right? We got 8 billion women on the planet. I'm just going to just throw a random number. You got 3 billion women, and they're looking for a man of a certain status making a certain type of money. And I'm like, she really thinks that she's going to be able to outbeat 3 billion women? Good luck. There are no guys out here that are going to slice that any type of way so that you're going to fit directly in there and be with that guy. That's son. That's beyond a Herculean task. That's beyond trying to roll a boulder up a hill. You're not doing that. Like that's beyond the struggle of Atlas. Like you're not doing that at all. And this is when it comes into the fact that you have a lot of women out here sharing the same type of guy, because a lot of women out here are chasing the exact same thing. I want to do that's making 100,000, 200. So all of these dudes, all of these black dudes that are within that range, they got the selection. They got the pick of the litter, because every woman is sitting up there chasing directly after them. They're looking for that type of success that guy basically has so they can live the life that they always dreamt of and all this other type of stuff. But like he said before, it's crazy for a lot of those women out there to have that criteria, but at the same time, they can't even afford it themselves. They can't even build it or give that type of criteria. They're not even that. So it's like, that's some crazy work. So it's like you're asking for something from the universe, but you're showing up with less. That's not how that works. If you want something directly from the universe, you at least got to be there 50%. And you got a lot of these women on social media, they're not even anywhere close to 50%. They might not even be at 15%. But yet they have these demands. They have this criteria that people got to match up. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. That's 1,000% crazy. So, like I said before, this is why you got a lot of these dudes directly out here, and you got women out here getting pregnant by the exact same guy. This is exactly why. And this is why you have a lot of women out here that are not really happy in said relationships, because they were going after money instead of somebody that was genuinely going to care about them and and everything like that. Funny enough, bringing that up, I do have something else technically on this topic, which is actually kind of funny. So I'm just going to put it all together. How do I want to set them? It's going to look, quite, whatever. Because again, I just, decided to throw it together, and we're going to just put this. We're going to put the little guy directly in the middle. We're going to make the background, black there, so everybody can just happen to see some things, because we're dealing with the whole issue of money. Let me make sure I blurred out any words. Thank you for the stress. Right. All right, so let me just download that real quick, and I can put that in front of you, because we're talking about a whole money situation, right? So put this into a little bit of an example. So we're going to read through what this person posted. Y'all might not be able to see. You might have to turn your phone sideways, because I actually have to go back to my original screen, right? So for those of you who turn the phone sideways, you'll be able to, in a sense, read it a little bit more and zoom in as I'm talking. So starting off on the left side, it says, girls, I need help. I need help. Like, my boyfriend has 18K just in his trading account, but he won't even help me with my rent because he thinks I'm not going to see him, and that I'm using him. He literally tells me to my face that I'm a user and he's not going to pay it, meaning her rent. Is this even a safe relationship? She said, nope, my rent is just $1,500. And she said that y'all just need to see how it even started. I never once asked that man, I'm going to paraphrase because I see some typos, asked that man to pay my rent. I just told him what's stressing me, and he straight twisted it like I'm being corny or beggy, beggy or some wild thing, right? So he gave the question. He said, what are some things that worry you? Mainly stressing over how to pay the rent. That was her response. Under that, this is what she wrote. She said, since my sister and her boyfriend are on my good side right now, paying the house rent is our major stressor. That the bills, my sister needs the interest for work. She's using my phone hotspot till it might even run out soon, right? So she's basically saying that you got 3 people directly out there, and that the main thing that she's stressing in over is paying the rent, right? He responded. He said, when you have the option to leave and have everything paid for and have the best life, okay. Dude, expletive this. Your words show it all. You want me to pay for it. That's the only reason you brought it up. Of course, I'm not going to pay for it. That doesn't mean I'm wrong. I'm just being mean. If you flip expletive around on me here one more time, I'm uploading our convo and I'm getting all my trading friends' opinions. I'm tired of feeling alone on this and getting bullied by you, and you keep using my words against me. I'm starting to think you'll never come here because you are too attached to your friends, family, and sister. And, that's where basically it cut off and whatnot or whatever. So you got this woman that is directly there, and she brought this up. And I'm like, let me just go back and read this just one more time, right? Just at the top. She said, girls, I need help. Like my boyfriend has 18K just in his trading account. Now, that should already be like a red flag. And the craziest part is when I went through the thread and I saw women, chatting back and forth, the most interesting thing took place. 9 times out of 10, the women in the comment section were telling her, "Oh, you need to sit up there and leave him. This is like all types of red flags. This is that and the third." I'm like, did nobody comprehend the fact that they don't live together? There's they're quote unquote in a relationship. She has everybody at her house. He has his own place. So you're telling him that you're having this problem with rent. Okay, cool, but he's not having no problem with rent, right? And then you want to come online to act as though, woe is me, I'm the victim. No, you're not. Obviously, he has 18K in a trading account because he's frugal and he makes very smart, intelligent, and logical decisions. That's why he's sitting on 18K. And he also has other people surrounding him who are nurturing and fostering that ability to make trades and all this other type of stuff, while you are just frivolously spending money to and from, and money's just leaving the house and never coming back in. And you want to bring up the fact that he has 18K sitting there. Yeah, he has 18K of which he earned. Hard work, dedication of money, sleepless nights and mornings, sitting up there staring at a computer screen, trying to make sure that the trades go right or whatnot or whatever. And you want to bring up the 18K for what? Like that don't even make any sense. So, okay, so he'll decide to give you that 18K, even though you got 3 people directly there. He'll sit up there and give you like that 1,500 that you need. So then what about the next 11 months? What about the next year directly after that? Like I said before, that if he were to even help out, that 18K is not going to be there. That 18K is not going to be there. It's not going to be there. And as he stated before, it was like, yo, more than likely everything would have been taken care of if you decided to sit up there and move in with him. You would have been completely fine and dandy, but you decided that that's not what you wanted to do. So he has every right to sit up there and be like, yo, this is crazy. Like, you sitting up there bringing this up as if I'm supposed to pay for it. It's like, yeah, y'all in a relationship, but he don't sit up there. Oh, he got his own place in which he's managing. He's adulting. Just like you should be adulting. He is managing his spot for whatever reason that you can't manage your own separate spot. That's crazy to me. Maybe you might want to sit up there and downsize. Maybe you want to sit up there and do things a little bit different. Like, that's some crazy work. And you brought this online to showcase to everybody what? You like he said before, you're trying to misuse his words and trying to flip it on him like he's the bad guy. Again, this is what a lot of guys be referring to and talking about when it deals with like the dating scene and relationships and stuff like that directly out here. Like, this is crazy. You knowing the fact, again, even reading her little, you know, sentences directly up there, I already knew that she was in the wrong. Already knew that she was in the wrong. Guys can never come directly online and get sympathies from anybody out here talking about like, yo, guys, I really need some help. Like, yo, my rent is about to be due. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, my girl, she don't even want to sit up there and help me and this, that, and the third. And we're supposed to be in a relationship. You know, the internet is going to sit up and tell that guy, it's like, yo, man up. You better start working 18 jobs to afford that rent. Ain't nobody going to sit up there and baby you and help you. That's what it is. But when it deals with the internet, when women do stuff like this, you never see people on here trying to go that hard. I'm like, that's crazy to me. Both parties are adulting. We're not dealing with a child. We're not dealing with like a 12-year-old that's just emancipated and out there on their own. That's not what we're doing. We're dealing with a grown woman directly out here. And people are still babying this grown woman directly out here. That's crazy work. Like I said, this is why I say I'm not subscribed to that whole equality stuff, because it don't exist. It can't exist. It won't exist. Because the exact same wordings that people want to use towards men, like, oh, suck it up, you better go out there and get some extra jobs, go out there and educate. They'll tell men to do everything else. I need that exact same energy to be put directly on women as well, too. That's equality. That's making a playing field equal. No sympathy points given. Like, that's crazy. But like I said before, the best bet for this dude to sit up there and do is just break up with her. There's no reason for you to even be in that relationship. She got that. Y'all both adulting. You got 18K saved up. She obviously has nothing. So there you go. That lets you know you need to get somebody that is financially inclined, very much business minded, so that as you're growing your nest, the little seed that you got there, you want a woman that's doing the exact same thing, that understands money. It's that simple. It's that simple. Like, that's crazy. Like, all I'm hearing from this girl right here is that she chose to be broke. That's all I'm hearing. That's all I'm hearing. Like, why would you get a place that you couldn't afford? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you, as the woman that you are, get a place that you can't sit up there and afford? Like, what? Like, what are we doing? And then on top of that, that's not even adding into the fact that she said, okay, the rent is about to be due. So, but what about any car payments that you got? What about the insurance? What about your own insurance? What about gas? What about groceries? All these other, like, how are you managing all those other things? Like that 500, that 1500 is just one thing. Well, what about all the other hundreds of dollars of bills that you normally have to, sit up there and deal with, right? Because you're saying that you're struggling. Everybody's struggling, right? So how are you managing all of that? Like I said, that's how I noticed she got money. She just don't want to sit up there and spend it. Or better yet, she more than likely got other dudes out there that she might be seeing, or that might be footing the bill on certain things. And she's just trying to figure out a way to get a little bit more money so that she can keep everything that she got, and everybody else is basically, substituting and throwing in money. And there you go. Like I said, this dude needs to basically bag away from her, because if he deals with her any longer, he's going to be broke. He's going to be broker than her. And after he's broke, she's going to move on to the next guy. Like, oh, this ain't really, working out. And that is going to be that whole spiel. And it's crazy. I done seen it too many times online. And that's exactly what's going to sit up there and happen. But, it'd be like that. But you got a lot of people out here that want to call guys broke. Crazy work. It's funny how you can have guys out here that know about, stocks, bonds, and trades and crypto and all this other type of stuff and how to save money. But, a lot of guys out here are quote unquote, broke, as people like to say. Crazy work. Crazy work. It's diabolical. So now we're going to go to another story. And this is a story. So if we got any white people directly in the building at this moment in time, you may want to exit, because, it's not going to look too good directly on your part. And I'm going to let you know why it's not going to look that good. But we're just going to get directly into the story, and I'm going to allow it to progress. I may, cut in here and there, but I'm going to let you hear this. Let's take a look. Shout out to any of the white people that's in chat.
2 children home
White
safe
lives
after
matter.
someone tried to kidnap her 2-year-old son.
It happened during a trip to Walmart last week. Channel 2's Aaron Rodgers live now in Ackworth for us at the Walmart on Cobb Parkway. And Aaron, you spoke to that mom tonight.
I did, George and Wendy, and Caroline Miller told me she was taking her 2- and 4-year-old to Walmart to get some last-minute things for an upcoming vacation they had. But that scary encounter, well, it happened right through those doors at the pharmacy.
I'm just glad that he's still home with us.
Thankful. That's how Caroline Miller is feeling after a frightening encounter at this Ackworth Walmart.
But as much as we would love to think it'll never happen, it will and does. And to be prepared for when it does.
She says her kids wanted to ride the motorized wheelchair. They were almost done shopping when she says 56-year-old Mahendra Patel asked for help finding Tylenol.
When I pointed my arm out this way to point it to the direction of where it was, that is when he reached down, put both his hands on Jude, and grabbed him out of my lap.
She says it happened so fast.
I'm like, oh, what are you doing? He pulled him, I pulled him back. We're tug-of-warring.
She says then he walked off, bought the Tylenol, and left.
We saw him checking out, but before we could really do anything, he was gone.
3 days later, police arrested Patel.
We were able to see the car he got into and follow the cameras and used our flock cameras in the city and was able to get a tag number and track him down.
But Miller still thinks Walmart needs to have better security.
Obviously, these places are targeted. We know what's going on in the area around here. How many missing posters of kids do they have on their very own wall?
She says she's now teaching her kids a lesson she didn't think she'd have to this early.
Wow, that's crazy work. That white woman, she, I can't believe that she actually had to, go through that, ordeal. My condolences to the white women out there that are really terrified for their lives and, for their families and kids. Good work on the police and the media, putting this story directly out there to make people, really aware. Like the white woman said, it's like, we all know what's really going on directly out here, right? Without saying, directly too much. I'm very glad that she is, safe and sound. And, those white kids are great in good hands, right? But let's continue.
Early.
It is, George. That grandfather was about 3 miles away. He says it took him 3 minutes to get to this Walmart after he heard about the kidnapping. Now Mahendra Patel is in custody. That's after police say he tried to grab his 2-year-old grandson from his mother's arms.
He reached in behind him and grabbed and pulled at my grandson.
Norman Miller says a man tried to yank his 2-year-old grandson from his mother's arms while she was shopping at this Walmart. He says his daughter refused to let him go.
And my daughter just wrapped her arms and just fought.
That's a good mother.
The kidnapper got away. Miller says he raced to the Walmart and searched for him, but he was nowhere to be found. What would you have done if you had caught him?
I probably shouldn't tell you. Not on TV anyway.
Instead, police say they caught 56-year-old Mahendra Patel. Police say the incident was captured on surveillance video. They say it began when Patel approached the mother and her 2- and 4-year-old children asking for help.
He did ask for where the Tylenol was in the store.
Police say that's when he tried to yank the 2-year-old from the mother's arms. Officers say Patel eventually gave up and left. They say they got his credit card info from a receipt for Tylenol he bought. Police say cameras recorded Patel leaving in a black car, and flock cameras picked him up. He was arrested days later. The grandfather wonders why no one was watching surveillance cameras.
Yeah, why was
and
nobody
not
watching?
seeing what happened and protecting my family.
He says people should be able to shop in peace.
And not have to arm yourself just to go grocery shopping.
And Patel is in the Cobb County Jail facing kidnapping, simple assault, and simple battery charges. Miller says his grandchildren, fortunately, were not hurt. He says their mother actually took them to Florida for a quick vacation, just to clear everyone's head.
Wow, that's crazy. So the mother, after the whole ordeal, took place,
took them to Florida.
They went to Florida for a vacation. Like I said before, white people, you guys are really, directly under attack. I 100% get it. I get the full, entire, sense of everything that is taking place. I pull back all of the things that I've specifically said about white people, because obviously, I was wrong. There's anti-whiteness, directly out here, obviously taking place. I'm wrong. I am considerably wrong. I have no problem basically apologizing with the proof that I'm able to see. You got all of these white faces directly up here, specifically telling us what happened to this lonely little white woman that doesn't have a man directly in her life. We don't know where the father is at this moment in time. Clearly, this is a single parent household, and she is the man and the woman of the house, and she did whatever she could in order to protect her kids. Let's continue.
For a quick vacation, just to clear everyone's head.
Says a stranger tried to kidnap her son from a Walmart in Cobb County. The man's attorney agreed to share it with Channel 2's Courtney Francisco because she says it proves he's innocent.
He's talking with people. He's being friendly.
You are getting the first look at how Mahendra Patel's attorney plans to argue he's innocent.
This is a friendly older gentleman who is trying to help people, was asking for help at the Walmart.
Surveillance video from inside the Ackworth Walmart shows Patel walk in last month.
Shopping for Tylenol for his elderly mother.
As he walks the aisles, video shows him cross paths with this woman in a motorized wheelchair with a baby in her arms and a little girl under her feet.
She's pointing to where the Tylenol is.
Patel's back is to the camera, but as the chair moves forward, he appears to lean in. That's when the mother says he picked up her son. She did not respond to requests to comment on the new video, but told us last month.
He pulled him, I pulled him back. We're tug-of-warring.
And this video is very clear that that did not happen.
She says her client thought the kid was going to fall, so he was helping her readjust. Video shows him back up. She points to something, and he moves in that direction.
If you're in Walmart and you see someone in need, you're just going to have to let them fall, apparently. You're just going to have to let them, whatever happens, happens. We can no longer help handicapped people, is what this is saying.
The mom says she doesn't need the wheelchair, but her kids wanted to ride it. She has trouble driving it, backed into shelves, and appears to run over her child's foot with it.
This man even jumped to help the child when the child fell. That's what people do.
While that's happening, an employee helps Patel find the Tylenol. He holds it up as he talks to the mom on his way to the checkout counter.
He's not fleeing, as the police have said. He's not fleeing. He's using his debit card. He's talking with an employee here, paying for it in his own name.
He stops to talk to a worker before leaving, and police arrested Patel days later. Last week, a grand jury indicted him for attempted kidnapping, assault, and battery. He's been in jail nearly a month now. His attorney plans to ask for bond in 3 weeks.
This kidnapping of a minor bell was rung. Once that bell is rung, it's really hard to unring it. It's really hard to get that back and get him a bond.
So let me just go back and unsend the apology, clearly that I was given directly to white people. You guys are 100% racist. I'm looking at white faces directly up here, and those white faces decided to try to get a brown face locked directly up. That's some crazy work. White lives matter. It's the craziest thing. And the funniest thing is, throughout, the one thing I want to majorly point out to a lot of people here, you see all of these white people here lying directly on one person because of their skin complexion. You heard the white woman sit up there and state, and we got the camera footage from Walmart. She was like, yeah, we were tussling, we were fighting, we were battling. It was like the end of the world. I didn't know what was going to happen, but as a mama bear, I was going to sit up there and make sure that my kids were safe. And then she was like, I made sure to sit up there and teach my kids that if any stranger tries to come up to them and snatch them, you bite and you scream and you kick and you pull, you do this and you do that. Word? Really? But the footage, we didn't see no struggling there, ma'am. You were in a motorized scooter. And then the same motorized scooter, you didn't even know how to drive. Realistically, if you can't drive a motorized scooter, you should not have a license. You should not be knocking into displays. Were you drunk on that scooter? Like, what was really going on? I really feel like she was probably off some medication and mixing it in with some alcohol. That's why she had that thought, that one little bit of truth. And she was like, yeah, let me decide to sit up there and be racist. I don't like this guy directly in my neighborhood or where it is that we are. So I'm going to sit up there and make up this white lie. And I know that everybody's going to believe me, because I want y'all to understand the craziest part about this whole story is that the guy, the news reporter in the lower left-hand corner, that clown right there, at no point in time through all 3 videos did he nor the news make an apology for the assumption of guilt that they placed directly on that man. They were like, yeah, we prayed directly for the parents. We hope directly for the kids. We can't believe anything like this. Are you serious? Like, what happened to the detective work? Where's the actual real journalism? Like, even the cop, he's just sitting up there smiling like, yeah, we did our job.
we hunted this guy down, and we caught his license plate. We capture him. Bing pow zoom. We got him. Word? What detective work did y'all do? And y'all got this man up here just for a bail hearing. He hasn't even gotten seen for a bail hearing. He's been locked up over this white lie for 40 days. 40 days. This man is locked up for no reason over complete lies. Like I said before, this is just a further example of what it is that black men have had to sit up there and face. We've gone through far worse. This man, this Patel guy, he's getting light work right now. Light work. Like I said, the father, you already know what type of organization they are part of. That's the hooded organization right there. That's that hooded organization right there. And the craziest part about this is that when I happen to showcase videos like this, I don't see white people talking. I don't see y'all chirping. I don't sit up there. Oh, why are you always talking about race? Well, why does race have to be brought up in it? Why are we all human beings? We're all God's children. Kumbaya. Y'all ain't doing none of that. You ain't doing none of that out here. I don't see none of that happening. Just like when I started bringing up those FBI stats. It's real funny how a lot of trolls and whatnot started quieting down, started real simmering down when things started cooking. Couldn't see nothing in those comment sections. And I was looking for y'all too. I'm like, where y'all at? I'm looking for the binoculars. I tried to even get out a microscope to see if I could find some specks. I ain't see nothing. It's crazy work. That is some crazy work. That's some diabolical work. Diabolical work. Let me just get somebody directly about here. Crazy work. Oh no. No, that wasn't supposed to happen. Hold on. Can I undo? Hold on. That was the wrong one. Oh. Let me uncorrect something real quick. Because the what's the name moved a little bit too quick. That was a misstep right there. Hold on, let me see. I gotta go back to the other one. Swap. Go directly over. Go here. Go here. There we go. Yeah, so Bennett, that was a mistake. That wasn't supposed to be you. It was somebody else that was directly in the section. So let me see if I can. So Vanita, I need you to actually type something real quick. Let me see if it actually worked real quick. So Vanita, type something real quick. Let me know. Because that was actually a mistake. Okay, yeah. Because it was a troll that was directly above you that I was trying to get to, but the chat moved, and then yeah. So I want to let me just highlight you real quick. Yeah, so that was a mistake. That was that was not supposed. I'm deeply sorry. That was not supposed to happen. I'm very much sorry. That was for somebody else. But yeah, like I said before, it's like this is 1,000% crazy. When it is that I talk about these topics and I don't happen to get the energy that I always just so happen to see. I don't happen to get it. Like I said, underneath with this video, and like I said, we got all three. This is for mainstream media, so can't debate it. We got the actual footage from Walmart. Can't debate it. Can't go against it. Can't say it's not racist. Again, I don't see nothing. I don't get nothing. It's crazy. Nikki Pooh said, what happened? So let me just sum it up for you, give you the crib notes for it. So all the white faces that you see, I gotta move Bennett real quick. All the white faces that you basically see here lied on the Indian guy that you see in front of him. I'm going to try to see if I can get a clearer picture of Patel. At this moment, let me see if we can happen to get some. Don't they got a clear picture of this man? I could have sworn we had like a clear image. I do gotta. Yeah, that's basically it. So the brown guy that you see, Patel, I'm going to guess Indian or whatnot or whatever. White woman in the upper left-hand corner basically stated that he was trying to kidnap one of her kids, and she had to fight for her life in order to make sure that her kids were safe and sound. Went to the news and the police. Everybody white, and this is what I happen to tell people. White women can tell the greatest lies on earth. Even if people know that she is lying, it's still going to be believed. So the media, literally, all of the faces that you see, all four corners that I have directly on that picture, all of those faces believe that woman, including the newscaster for both of the videos. Technically, all three of the videos, because in the third video, once the truth finally came out, he should have been one of the main ones giving an apology by way of the news network, but they opted not to do that. And my main thing is to basically showcase the fact that when it deals with the United States, if you are not of a certain complexion, you're going to be blamed for everything. Even if lies are told and it's proven that you are innocent, people are still going to put that lie and that branding directly on you, irregardless. And this man has been locked up. Patel, this man who is 56 years of age, he is locked up over a white woman's lies. He's been locked up in jail for about 40 plus days. Hasn't even received like a bond hearing yet. Crazy work. And we got all the evidence directly out here that this white woman lied, that her father sat up there and lied, because he was telling like his own tall tale directly of it. I'm like, dog, how do you got this information and you weren't even there? I'm like, wow. And then, like I said, all of them are directly in on it. The whole community is directly in on it. This is how that works. And when I happen to show these things off, white people happen to say nothing. They stay directly quiet on the whole situation because, again, they are accomplices with their silence. And this is what black people sit up there and talk about every single time. It's like, yo, if you see your people out here doing wrong, y'all need to call it out, because y'all been burning down towns and cities, but y'all want to say that y'all not the same as those people from before. But when I see actions like this, I'm like, oh, this is 2025 and y'all still doing this? No problem. Y'all got it. Y'all still the same as your ancestors. You can't tell me nothing. This is 2025, guys. And this is why I don't see like a lot of trolls and a lot of white people trying to make a comment, because this literally just happened. This is fresh. This is brand new for this year. They can't say nothing. Oh, this is a story from last year. This is from 5 years, 10 years. Well, are we talking about old? Nah, you can't say that now. This is fresh, baby. Fresh. Out the pack. Rip me out the plastic like I'm brand new. That's how fresh the story is. That's where we at. That's some crazy work. 100% crazy work, but it is what it is. People going to sit up there and learn. So now we're going to go to a different video here where it details a guy, excuse me, speaking on his feelings about a video that a woman placed. And I want to happen to hear, people's opinions directly on his perspective of this video. So let's get into it.
Protect black women and femmes. Protect black trans women and girls.
No. So let's go back to what she said, right? So we can get the gist of what this guy is about to explain.
Protect black women and femmes. Protect black trans women and girls.
No. Hold on. Listen to this nonsense. Okay. Let's reiterate. She said protect women. That is under certain conditions. She said protect femmes. No. She said protect trans women. No. Now let's talk about the first one, protect black women. And I said under certain circumstances or conditions. When I say that, I'm referring to several things. I'll protect a woman if she's family, friend, employee, associate, or someone I'm in a relationship with. So those are 5 reasons. And no other reasons above and beyond that. And there's a reason for that. And that reason being, I can't save everybody. I'm living my own life as it is. And I'm not going to risk my life for someone I don't know that can't even appreciate it. I mean, what it comes down to is you got to have some sort of, I don't want to say worth, maybe value. You have to have some type of value for me to want to risk my neck or put myself in a position of helping you. Somebody I don't know and just risk my neck for somebody I don't know. I like my life. I love my life. I love how I'm living it. I enjoy it. So I'm not just going to recklessly jump in the middle of a situation. I'm literally seeing a couple of incidents. Like, for example, the one unfortunate event that happened, the one lady whose life was taken by her bipolar boyfriend or something in that parking lot where he used a firearm on her, chasing her. She had the protection order. There were women literally arguing, why didn't men jump in and do something? He had a gun. You just expect a man to just jump right into the middle of a man with a gun trying to kill somebody? It's not going to happen. And that's unrealistic to think that you expect us to do that. So no, like I said, I only protect women when the need arises, because under those conditions, being family, friend, someone I'm in a relationship with, an associate, or somebody I'm in a relationship with, or employee. That's what I got. And I know a lot of women won't understand that because there's a lot of panders who will come on here and just tell you whatever. Yes, I'll say you. I'm listening to this one child abuser come on here talking about how he'll protect women, but you beat kids. Interesting. Femmes. I mean, to be just blunt, you made your bed, lie in it. Femmes literally do anything and everything to view men as a negative, but you want us to stop what we're doing and protect you when something's happening to you. Nah, don't work like that. Trans women, I don't even have to go into discussion. It's a simple no. And that's all I got to say on it.
So I had a few comments directly up there. One of the main ones that you can see directly up there said, was replying back to somebody, right? And they said, white people let anyone make channels, no matter how clownish they are. Right? And again, I try to reiterate and I try to state that if people actually have a problem or an issue with anything that I'm talking about, all you have to do is just simply say at SEIJIHITO. That's all you have to sit up there and do. We can sit up there and have the conversation, right? I can respond directly to your comment, all that other type of stuff. But it seems to me that when I try to just make something so simple for grown adults, and a lot of these times that I happen to receive comments like the one that you see posted, a lot of these people are actually older than me, way older than me. So you should have like some wisdom. You should have some common sense. You should be thinking from a logical standpoint and be able to dissect and actually talk about a conversation or an issue or a problem, adult to adult, instead of, just doing these back and forth subliminals and all this other type of stuff. You should actually be able to address the person just like I can address you by highlighting your comment and responding to you, right? That's what actual adults do. Children decide that they want to throw slights, they want to do this, they want to, do that, while you actually have somebody live responding, directly to you. So, it was either one of the two stories. Either the story dealing with the racism, they didn't specifically, like that story and didn't want to dissect and talk about that, or they didn't like the fact of what it is and how it is that this man broke down who he's going to protect and who he's not going to sit up and protect. Nothing that he said was incorrect. If you are a man, it is up to you to decide who it is that you want to sit up there and protect, because it's your life at the end of the day. Because I've covered this too many times, and I've covered so many stories of men jumping into the line of fire in order to save a woman, and all for that man to be no longer here. That woman is not at the gravesite. She's not at the hospital. She's not at the funeral. She's not at the wake. She's not sending her condolences. She's not celebrating the birthday of the man that risked his life so that she could live. None of that stuff is happening. She's not even worried about the medical bills. She's up there more than likely with the exact same guy
that inevitably was putting her life at risk, right? And or she decided to sit up there and move on and act like nothing ever happened. Those are usually the two scenarios that inevitably end up happening, because I'd uncovered stories of men risking their lives to do the right thing, all to get nothing in return. So for anybody to have a issue or a problem with men specifically stating the specific women in life that they are going to protect, you're dumb. Because let's just be real. If we were to reverse the question and ask women, who are they going to sit up there and protect? Some women are barely even going to say their kids. But if they are going to sit up there and say something, they're going to sit up there and say themselves and their kids. You're not going to have women up here talking about like, oh yeah, I'm just going to jump into the fray. If I happen to see a dude getting jumped by women, I'm going to jump in the fray and I'm going to start knuckling. No, said no woman ever. There's been a multitude of times I've been in public and I've seen a woman or a girl literally swinging directly on a man or a young boy, and you don't see other girls stepping up to do anything to break up that fight. They're sitting up there laughing, they're cackling, they're filming and all this other type of stuff. But you know what I do see? The moment in the time that the guy looks like he's had enough and he's like, yo, I'm about to sit up there and give you like this nice 2-piece combo real quick. I'm about to sit up there and give you a nice slap real quick. I'm about to push you down real quick. Oh, here comes the Avengers. Everybody's a superhero now. Everybody's teenagers with attitude. Everybody's a part of the Justice League. Everybody's formulating Voltron. Like everybody now wants to sit up there and put on their super suit, and now they want to sit up there and defend that woman after the dude didn't already had enough. But when the guy is sitting up here going through this and that, who is trying to champion for that guy? Nobody. Who's trying to champion for that young boy? Nobody. Like I said before, it's crazy. That is 100% crazy. And for anybody to have a problem again with a man specifically stating that I'm going to put my life on the line for A, B, C, and D and not you, yo, you have lost your mind, because you already know at your core you would never risk your life for this man. He could be out there in the street dealing with anything. You as a woman are not going to step up there and be Superman and be trying to body block any bullet. You're not doing that. You're not going to do that for him. So why would you sit up there and get mad when he doesn't want to sit up there and save your random self when you're in some type of danger or a domestic disturbance? Nah, son. Even the police don't want to deal with domestic disturbances, but you expect a random guy to risk his life when you're in a domestic dispute with a guy that you chose to be with? Nah, baby, you got that. Hold that. And as he listed for the other groups directly out there, yeah, y'all better hold that. If you are the type of individual that has been specifically just hating men, nah. Should no man be out here dropping anything that he's doing in life to sit up there and risk his life for you, because you don't even like men. You hate men 1,000%. Why? On why should any guy sit up there and risk his life for you? You better ask some women out here to risk their lives for you, and you know they not. Like I said, like he said, that's crazy. That's 100% crazy. All of that hating you put directly out there, and then you expect for me to jump directly out there in the fray and waste my life for you? No, it's not even going to be appreciated. No. No, we're not doing that. And like you said before, and then you got other groups directly out there, they can protect themselves. You got that. You are more than well equipped enough to protect yourself. So like I said, that's some crazy work. Diabolical. Shout out. I want to give a shout out to what is it? I'm just gonna say Disnute. I want to, hopefully I didn't mispronounce the last name. Shout out and much love, respect, and appreciation for the $3 don. We're going to round that up to the $3 dono that you gave directly to the channel. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Much love. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. like I said, you got a lot of women out here with a certain type of criteria that a man has to sit up there and fit in order to be with them. And I feel that men should have the exact same thing. Women should have to fit a certain type of criteria in order for that guy to think that, okay, I'm going to risk my life for you. Fair is fair. Like I said, men don't have control, quote unquote, over a lot of things out here. But the one thing a man does have control over is his life and how it is that he spends it or gives it over. So, like I said, nobody should have a complaint or even really a thought or a theory directly about that, because no, we're not doing that. Like I said, men don't have ownership over women, and women don't have ownership on how it is that a guy is going to throw away his life. So I'm just going to put that directly out there. But anyways, speaking of which, we're going to go directly to this video, and you can see what the title is. I'm going to just read this directly off to you just to speed you up, right? So it says, a woman allegedly took the life of a dentist during a dispute about loud music. Now she faces a reckless homicide charge. A Wisconsin woman has been charged in connection with the deceasement of a neighbor after she allegedly took his life during a dispute about loud music. Kiana McGowan, age 27. Wait, let me go back to that picture. She's 27. Okay. Kiana McGowan, age 27, was charged with second-degree reckless homicide in a fatal incident of dentist Akintunde Baldwin, age 41. According to a criminal complaint obtained by outlets, police officers in the Brown Deer area were called to an apartment complex to investigate a report of shots fired on April 19th. When they arrived, a woman later identified as Miss McGowan yelled, "Help, he's in my house, number 207. At the apartment, officers found a man lying face down on the entryway with a wound to his lower abdomen. I guess officers tried to attempt life-saving measures on the man, but were unsuccessful. The Brown Deer Police Department did not immediately respond. Ms. McGowan reportedly told investigators per the outlet that she had been listening to music inside of her apartment when she heard loud, aggressive banging at the door. She allegedly looked through her door's peephole to find a large man who appeared to be intoxicated, and he asked her to turn down the music, and she agreed and shut the door. However, she stated, per criminal complaint, that Baldwin returned, kicking her door, so she allegedly grabbed her weapon and fired and aimed directly at him when he made a motion to kick her door again. Baldwin's fiance, Theresa Bell, so she's in a lesbian relationship, was interviewed by police and told them, per the outlet, that she and Baldwin lived in an apartment below McGowan and that she had been away at a concert that night with her mother. She claimed, by way of the court filings obtained by the outlet, that she had last contacted Baldwin through FaceTime. I'm sorry. So the dentist's fiance, Theresa Bell, I'm sorry, let me, just recorrect that, right? Was interviewed by police and told them that she lived in an apartment below McGowan's and that she had been away at a concert that night with her mother. She claimed, per court filings obtained by the outlet, that she had last contacted Baldwin through FaceTime at around 10:30 p.m. She claimed that the resident living above them would occasionally play music too loudly, but that her fiance had never confronted her about it and was not one to lose his temper. And later she stated that their previous encounters with the upstairs resident had been civil. Milwaukee Health Services, Inc., where Baldwin worked as a dentist, shared a statement on Facebook announcing Baldwin's death. In the statement, the company has said that his impact on the patients and staff has been immeasurable. Quote, Dr. Baldwin's contributions to the health and well-being of our patients and community were extremely impactful. His leadership, compassion, and vibrant personality will forever remain in our hearts. They also stated that our hearts go out to Dr. Baldwin's family, friends, patients, and many lives that he has impacted. MHSI joins you in mourning the loss of a remarkable servant leader and healthcare advocate. Miss McGowan's bond was set to $15,000, and she remains in custody at the Milwaukee County Jail on April 24th, per the outlet. So let's go into the video and see what this man has to state.
Wisconsin's den is fatally pew-pewed by a neighbor in argument over loud music. Before I start my rant, let me say a prayer to this man and his family, as well as her and her family involved. This is a tragic situation. I don't expect any one of y'all to understand the essential elements of a criminal offense under the penal code. If you're not a law enforcement official, you're not a lawyer, I don't expect y'all to understand these things. This is the main reason why I truly believe everybody should not be afforded the opportunity to carry a firearm. Because the majority of most people in their life never use it, and the individuals who do use a firearm, they use it for the wrong reason because they feel this entitlement of having power to defend themselves or just to use it. Don't know why. So, when you're perceiving somebody as a threat, or you feel like somebody's going to cause bodily injury to you, you have to be able to legally justify that. If you feel like you're in the midst of a home invasion, right? You're not allowed to pew-pew anybody through a doorway. You're not allowed to do any of those things. You have to have an imminent threat, which means that individual has to not only kick your door in, they need to literally kick it in and try to enter into your residence past the threshold of your doorway. Then you are justified in defending yourself. If somebody kicks your door, you call the authorities. That's what you do. You don't take this opportunity to set it off and pew-pew anybody. So they were neighbors and had a dispute over loud music. Dr. Bowden knocked on the residence of Miss Kiana McGowan and asked her to turn the music down. She also stated he was acting aggressively and he seemed like he was inebriated, means he was intoxicated. She said she was willing to comply with it, but she stated in her affidavit that it wasn't good enough. We don't know the whole story. She closed the door and she stated out of her own words, not under any coercion or duress, she stated he kicked the door. She went to retrieve a firearm. So you're not any imminent threat. The door is closed. You're in a safe situation. You chose to get a weapon and return back to fire upon this man. This is why she's in jail. It does not work that way. If you can retreat or you're in the safety of your residence or any of those things, you cannot justify using a firearm against anybody. Want me to say that in English? If you have opportunity to flee the area, if you are safe within your residence, that does not give you the legal right to fire at anybody. I'm going to tell you what happened. She was mad too. She got in her feelings. He kicked her door. She had a rage. She went to get a firearm. She came back and pew-pewed this man. That's exactly why she's in custody. And this is why she has no hope in her trial. Take the plea deal or snitch like everybody else. Leave your comment in the comment section. But you know, y'all supposed to be grown. They're going to do what y'all want to do.
Like I said, that's crazy. Like you literally, and then this is how you know that she meant to do what it is that she did and she don't care. Her mugshot, she's sitting up there smiling like this is like a 1989 school photo shoot. Like, this is crazy. There's nothing to be happy or ecstatic about. You didn't do quote unquote your big one. Like that's not what this is. You didn't sit up there and defend yourself. You didn't do anything correct in this whole circumstance at all. You got emotional, grabbed a weapon, and thought that you were right in the actions that you took, and you weren't. Like that's some crazy. Like, you literally took this dude's life for no reason. He had a whole fiance and everything. He was going to start like a family. All of that's gone. You done robbed his fiance of like a possible future, kids, all of that. You done robbed his mom of her son. You done robbed his family of a family member. You done robbed the community of a black dentist. And let me sit up there and tell y'all something. I have not really gone to a lot of black dentists. There are not a lot of them. Like, anybody who's in, I mean, unless you're let's say like some Houston, like maybe some down south, like, you know, type of thing, maybe might see like more of an abundance. But up north, it's not that many that you can just so happen to find like that. It's not really like that. And now you didn't just rob that community of that whole experience, of that whole thing, and then you got the nerve to sit up here in a mugshot and you're smiling like you just really did something. Like I said, this is I don't know what to tell people. Don't know what to tell people at all. That's crazy, man. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, I don't know what you doing up out here. Got you, no problem. Just as a heads up for anybody else that may happen to have a YouTube channel and you doing stuff on your channel, that's cool. You a content creator. Don't pull up to the scene on my channel and start trying to just promote this. We don't do that here. Because I don't even do that at all. Like I just don't, out of respect for other content creators. Yeah, don't do that. Like I said, that's an automatic ban. We don't do that. We don't do that. Because I've never set up there and done. I'm not going to go to somebody else's another content creator's channel while they're live or whatnot, whatever, and then decide to insert my like I said, don't do that's massively disrespectful. Massively disrespectful. Like I said, don't do that. But yeah, like I said before, that's crazy. Sham said, I know it's really hard to find a black dentist in Milwaukee. I go to one, but this family dentist he was at serves a lot of poor kids for free. Woo. That's crazy. And you got this woman up here smiling like she really did a big one. That's some crazy work. And there's no telling what type of effect that this is going to have. Because, like, let's say, like, some of these kids might have been influenced by, like this guy here, and they was like, "Yo, I want to sit up there and be a dentist just like you." Now that's gone. Now because he's no longer there, like the energy that he was probably giving them, that positive, now all of that's gone. Now they don't got nowhere to turn to. Nobody else is going to give them that positive reinforcement. They might not be getting that from their families, their friends, the teachers, whatnot. They just going to be opting to do something else now. Like I said, it's crazy. That is 100% crazy. I mean, that's cool. Like, I'm not saying that the dude ain't wrong for sitting up there. If he did, like I said, I would actually love to see video footage if it is there of him kicking the door. But like I said, if he kicked the door, all right, she was still within the safety of her house. Nothing was happening. That's like in instances where in a road rage, somebody decided to kick the door of somebody's car, but the person inside of the car was like, "Oh, I'm in fear of my life." Bye bye. It's like, nah, dude, you're in a steel shell. You're in a 1 or a 2 ton vehicle. You're safe, realistically. Nobody has a weapon in their hand. They just simply sit up there and kick the car. That doesn't mean that you sit up there and decide to grab a weapon and take somebody's life. Like, yo, that's crazy. That's an emotional reaction. And I'm pretty sure in a lot of when it deals with like the shooting range and firearm training, they tell people like, yo, don't be emotional. You always want to be logical when it deals with these situations, because the thing that you're holding right now can literally, it's life altering. So for her knowing that, and more than likely having a license, because I didn't hear her saying that her firearm was illegal. So more than likely she had a license, she had the training, and she still decided to be emotional and irrational in that. And she didn't want to be the cooler head that was going to prevail. She decided to, we're just going to sit up there and take this train directly over the cliff. And she did that. That's crazy, girl. You was like, it looked like one of Seji's exes. That's crazy. That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. It's diabolical. Diabolical. Let me tell you, I've never been shot by any exes. Let me sit up there and tell you that. I've never been shot at all. Never been shot at. So just gonna put that one out there. Sham said she took out someone that was a huge help to the community. Yep. Ishmael said I was afraid for my safety. Yeah, that's more than like she tried to really pull the whole thing that the cops do. It's crazy. You said that's what she'll say. Yeah. I think somebody said above that stand your ground is not in Wisconsin. I think. Let me see. Nikki Poo said that is crazy. Yeah. Yep, that's 1,000% crazy. Let me see. I think I did have somebody up here that said stand your ground is not there. I thought I had that comment somewhere up there. But yeah. Sham said no, we don't have stand your ground. She's going to jail for murder. So yeah. D Money was like, I've been shot by an ex. Funny story. Ah, man. I'm glad you're still here. I'm glad that you're still here, because In a lot of instances, guys do not survive, instances, like that. So that was almost like the other video with that Latin woman. I never miss. And like she literally fired the weapon inside of the home or the apartment. And she was like, that was one. That was a warning shot. And then she started pointing directly at him to I never miss. And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, dog, if the dude is doing something, that's cool. But you shouldn't be sitting up there emotionally just like, yo, with a weapon and just waving it around. And I'm like, dog, yo, like I said, I don't know what to tell people. I don't know what to sit up there and tell people. You got a lot of unhinged people out here that don't. You got a lot of unhinged and emotional people that don't need to have weapons. That's the best way I can sit up there and put it. I do believe in people being able to have their license to carry and being able to protect themselves proficiently, but a lot of people just mentally are not there enough to actually just be there. Like I said, that's some crazy work. 100%. But we wait, Blaze said I only been hit by a paintball. Yeah. But yeah. But anyways, that is pretty much it, my people. Much love, respect, and appreciation. We made it to a good 2 hours at this moment in time. Shout out to all 123 people that are currently here. At this moment. Currently that's been sticking with us, watching through the live stream. Like I said to you guys before, usually try to keep it at a minimum. Sometimes it'll just so happen to, go over depending on the topic, the subject, videos, and everything like that. Gail said peace and love. Nikki Pooh said enjoy the rest of your day. Will do. Technically, I'm supposed to be playing some what was it? Risk of Rain too. Because we got Ty back out here. So, we'll probably, end up doing that, seeing how it works out. Ishmael said, why aren't psych exams required for gun owners? I don't know what to tell you. Don't even know what to tell you. Sham said, I got my headset up for today so we can play Risk of Rain. Okay, I got you. Ishmael said, like screen applicants for some. Yeah, they need to do that. Bennett said, Seji and positive family. Love and peace. That is bars. That is straight bars. Gail said, this is the Cash App right there. Hit up that Cash App, people, for support and love. Shout out to Gail. Ty said, I'm cooking, so I'm gonna try and get on tonight. Okay, I got you. Robert Thompson, what is up? Blaze said you play Black Ops 6. Was that the last? Whichever was the last Call of Duty, I do play that here and there most times and everything like that. I'm actually prestige? I should be like 107 right now because I just actually got back on and started playing a little bit more of Call of Duty because I saw some skins and different things up there. So I do play Call of Duty. I do play Miss Anderson, which she's obviously late to the party. I don't know where she is. She'll happen to show up every now and again. She plays, but haven't seen hide nor hair directly of her when it deals with Call of Duty. It's crazy. Just been getting ghosted out here. Ishmael said, had an ex try to outgreen me. She messed around and found out though. Ooh, that's crazy work. I'm glad you're still here. Glad you are still here. Sham said, I don't think I'm good at Call of Duty. I mean, it's it's hand-eye coordination. I mean, but you're more so like a PC girl, so it's a little bit different. So I don't know if it's hand-eye coordination dealing with mouse and keyboard. Yeah, that's a little bit different. But if you're talking about controller, that's that's nothing too difficult. It's not too difficult. Johnny West said, isn't that basically the plot of the Clint Eastwood movie? I forgot the name. Get Off of My Yard, Kids. Yeah, pretty much. 2-piece and a biscuit. Blade said, I just need to practice and search and destroy, but other modes I'm good at. Yeah, man, trust I'm not even really like that, when it deals with like the whole competitive. I mean, of course I do play to sit up there and win and things like that, but I mostly just stay to like objective type of things. Search and destroy, not really so much. I've played it I would usually play hardcore search and destroy, due to the fact of the weapons they work, and they work how they're supposed to work, and there's not an exaggeration on the amount of health that you basically have. So if I see you, you're pretty much, out of there, unless like my timing and everything is just, off or whatever. Um, but yeah, pretty much, nomination is fine. Uh, I haven't really played ground war in a while, but usually I stick to like team deathmatch, kill confirm, anything that's going to give you like a lot of XP and points, and stuff like that. Adrian M, what is up with us? You said it was Gran Torino. Okay, that was the movie. Gotcha. Ishmael said not proud of it, but better her than me. Hey, it be like that, and you are here to tell the tale, and sometimes people mess around and find out, and that woman, she found out. What was it? Miss Nettie said that, hopefully it is Miss. I'm just looking by the name. Said I love playing Resident Evil 4 remake. Yeah, Resident Evil's dope. Resident Evil is a pretty dope game. Let me actually just put this directly on the mic, so people won't sit up there and think like, yo, why is he talking about video games and the story is directly up there? It's like, yeah, because usually at the end of the live stream, start talking about vastly, different things or whatnot. D Money said that is a justifiable. I'm just going to say, paraphrase that as, I was going to say crash out, but I'll just say whooping, right? But I got you. Sham said, LOL. But yeah. But again, shout out to any and all gamers that we got directly out here. Wait. Blaze said, I want a new Max Payne game. Yeah, Max Payne is dope. You would technically have to de-age Max Payne, because the last Max Payne, he was like pretty much washed up. It was on like some Die Hard, type of stuff. So, Khalil said Resident Evil 4 is a fun game. Yeah, it is. Resident Evil is a pretty dope franchise. I think they are working on a new one. I'm not sure if it's going to follow the whole thing with Ethan, or if it's going to go back to the zombies, or potentially just like infected. I'm not sure which area is going to go into, but we'll see. Or unless they just so happen to do remakes. But I promise you, what they're not going to do is Code Veronica X. The only remake, I'll tell you this, the only remake that I'm looking for at this moment in time, realistically, is a Dino Crisis 2. Dino Crisis 2 I didn't get a chance to play one during the time, but I played Dino Crisis 2, and I love 2. I love the story. I love the characters there, and I loved how the game actually played. I'm not sure if Capcom is going to do it. Chances are they're not going to do it. Just like they're not going to do Code Veronica X. Chances are they're not going to do that. They'll move around every other Resident Evil to get those done. And yeah, that's what we'll have. Khalil said, Leon, yep. Sham said, I like the Ethan storyline. I mean, it wasn't bad. Now you got his daughter Rose. She got like the supernatural powers and all this other, type of stuff. I'm like, okay. All right. The favorite character in that story for a lot of guys was it should have been Lady Demetria. Yeah. So for a lot of people out there that feel that guys do not like tall women, no, guys do like tall women, and she proved that point. That was a lot of guys, favorite character, directly out there. Snoo is the thing. It is the thing. Pink said Steve was annoying in Code Veronica. I think I barely remember that dude. It's been so long since I played Code Veronica. It's crazy. Khalil said Resident Evil will have aliens soon. Yeah, it probably will, because they're moving all over the place. Ishmael said, Seji, any thoughts on the NFL and the Sanders boys? The funniest thing, and this is why when I sit up there and keep telling y'all that usually I will sit up there and end the live stream, but usually we'll start having conversations. I actually got a perfect image to sum that up right there, because I got a video where somebody actually made a very great point and dissected the whole thing. And as they stated here, it's cool when they try, meaning that you had Eli Manning and his father basically to do the same thing that Dion is doing for his sons. It's fine when white dudes do it, but when black dudes do the exact same thing, it's a problem. Everybody loses their minds and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, it's certain rules for everybody else and no rules for, other people. So that for me, I feel like that picture basically, and it fits. It's three people, two sons, one father, one father. It's equal. It is completely equal in there. The main discrepancy that is there is the color. If this was another white father that was doing the same thing that Dion is doing right now, people would not be losing their minds. This wouldn't even really be a topic. But because it's a black man doing this directly for his children, this is where we are. Hey, much respect to Goth. What is up? You said, hope everyone is having a blessed day. Be safe. Can't stay. Drop my like for you and see you next time. Much love, respect, and appreciation there, Goth. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Much love, much love. Khalil said they don't fit the stereotype. Yeah. Ishmael said both found teams, the Browns and the Buccaneers, but folks are upset with how they did the other son. Yeah. And that's because the one main thing that somebody specifically stated is that the NFL literally dodged a bullet. Let me see if I actually have that clip. Hopefully, if I was in my right mind, I screen capped. And I probably didn't. I probably did not. Let me see, because I would have rather not even paraphrase directly on this. For whatever reason, I can't actually go to my markers here. Let me see. There we go. This is how crazy this is, right? And I just want people to understand this is how you know that you actually got a problem when you can pull something up this. This is what Trump said. Trump said, what is wrong with the NFL owners? Are they stupid? Deion Sanders was a great college football player and was even greater in the NFL. He is also a very good coach, streetwise and smart. Therefore, his quarterback's son, has phenomenal genes and is all set for greatness. He should be picked immediately by a team that wants to win. Good luck and say hello to your wonderful father. It's crazy when you got Trump and many other people basically coming, especially Trump, when he's coming out here basically saying that the NFL is like, yo, what are y'all doing? When you got a sitting president looking at you sideways like, y'all really doing this right now? Y'all really doing this right now? That is cool. That's letting you know that you messing up. And I done covered a lot of stuff dealing with Trump. A lot of stuff. This right here should let you know that you messing up. And you had a lot of people in the NFL. You had other people that were spokespersons. You had NFL players. Again, crazy work that was sitting up here happening. Crazy work. Blaze said, it seems like the later round players are better than the first round. D-Money said, correction, Jalen was drafted second round. But yeah, like I said before, everything is crazy. Dealing with this whole situation and the NFL. Like I said before, if people can't realize and see the racism directly in NFL, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this basically shows you. For them to have to go back and they got called out by so many prominent people directly out there that the NFL was like, oh, we're actually messing up right now. We might not be able to actually fix this by PR and by money. So we're going to actually go back and we're going to pick, some people up real quick. Huh? I ain't never seen this in my life. Like, what is actually really going down at this? Like, yo, if this is where, like I said before, if you're going to be racist, stand on that racism. If you're going to move the way that you move as a corporation, as the NFL, as you are, because all black people out here know that the NFL is racist. We know that the NBA is the exact same way. White people will show up and be like, how are they racist if you got only these black players, multimillionaires? That doesn't mean that racism don't exist. Let's just put it into perspective. A lot of the dominant people directly out here that you can name that are black, that are multimillionaires, they're nowhere in the type of wealth bracket as the actual owners. Realistically, the superstars that are bringing eyes and putting people directly into the seats should be realistically wealthier than the owners, but they're not. And the owners in these corporations will make sure that those people are not. They're going to have to work very hard and diligently and do a multitude of loops and hoops and all these other. They're going to have to play directly by the straight and narrow and keep their nose to the ground to even hopefully see anywhere close to $1 billion and even live to be able to spend it. Like I said, you saw what happened to Tiger Woods, right? You saw that everybody saw the quote unquote, downfall of Tiger Woods, even though that was just a little bit of a stumble. Right, and how white people wanted to bring him down a peg because of how it is that he was sitting up there moving, even though you got other, white dudes out here doing the exact same thing, if not worse than Tiger Woods. But, it be like that. Right? So, it's crazy work. If you are black in sports, in order to sit up there and keep making this money, you better not be speaking for your people. You better not be helping your people. You better not be standing for your people. You better not be out here protesting. Like I said, we done seen this all throughout the years. What were white people sitting up there doing to complain? Oh my God, well, I'm not trying to see this woke protesting. Get these blacks off screen. They're anti-American. Deport them back to Africa. All this. That's what white people was literally doing in unison in this nation during all of these things when you got all this police brutality, all these videos showing up and coming directly out. This is what people were sitting up here saying. I'm not trying to see this on my screen. Yada, yada, yada. You deserved everything that happened and da. Some crazy work. What was that white woman named Lori Ingram? Whatever her name was. The white woman, she was like, shut up and play and dribble. That's what she literally said. White woman, that's what she literally said about a black man. She was like, shut up. I'm not trying to hear none of this. Entertain me, clown. Dance. That's it. Because they're realistically letting you know how it is that they see you. You're nothing but slaves at the end of the day. High price, high paid slaves, but still slaves at the end of the day. And if we don't like what it is that you're doing, we're going to sit up there and show you. If you think that you're too good or you think that you got enough to sit up there and call the shots, we're going to show you. We're going to tell you. We're going to dictate to you who actually calls the shots. And that's what the NFL did. They wanted to sit up there and punish that young man. Better yet, they wanted to sit up there and punish Deion Sanders for thinking that he could be the type of role model and father that he is. Because like I said before, you don't really got, if any, type of bad stories about Deion Sanders. And Deion Sanders has always been a father to his kids directly out there. No matter how people want to sit up there and criticize him, critique him, or whatever it is that people got to say, he's been always a father directly in his kids' life, every single facet. So can't nobody take that away from him. He's still there to this day and got his boys to this point. So because the media can't strip that away from like, oh, look at Deion Sanders not being, they can't sit up there and say that. They can't say that he was never there. So now they gotta take another avenue. They gotta try to affect him another way. They can't really affect his legacy. They can't take away those accolades from him because we all got the footage. We all seen it. So this is the only way that they can basically get directly to him by way of his kids. So like I said, I can't explain that any better for a lot of other people that don't want to, try to pay attention or try to understand. It's crazy. Yeah. Frank Sinatra basically said, you seen what they did to Kawhi, and all he did was post a link for the Hebrew Israelites. Yeah. Yep. Oh, we got a troll directly in here. No problem. You're gonna stay directly in the comment section. You're not even gonna get. I'm not even gonna post you directly up there. You cool. You can stay directly down there. Let me see. Yeah, the self-made legend took high school and college football by storm, and the NFL wasn't having it. He said Travis is leading the boys down the wrong path with him and his girlfriend drama, and Deion's son doesn't have that. Somebody said Arch will have to wait to be drafted. And Frank said, made him apologize. Like I said, that's crazy. And then not only that, but you also had the two white boys. I showed y'all that video in a previous live stream. You had the two white boys, and I ended up actually finding out that one of the white boys that was there in that video that did that prank call to one of the young dudes there that was waiting to get drafted. He is the son of a NFL coach, and I'm like, huh. So that's how his number. That was a brand new number. Nobody knew about it except for those who were in the know, meaning like the NFL, the people that were supposed to get in contact with him. This is how that white boy was able to make that prank call. And I'm like, that's crazy. So I'm like, we're, in a sense, doing that type of thing directly. Like I said, people that don't got nothing going on, they always want to, do something in order to try to affect or take a slight or a jab at black people that are actually doing some stuff. People who are not gifted always want to go after people who are gifted, God given, gifted by way of the universe. It's crazy work. It's crazy. Let me see. I'm not even sure. Now we got a whole bunch of trolls just like pulling up in the scene. Yeah, I ain't gonna get no type of light right now unless I decide it. Polo said the quarterback is white man's spot. Tom Brady was told to fall back. I'm telling you, this was a humiliation ritual to show black men in America we will always be under someone. But I get what it is that you're saying, but at the end of the day, this is what I do know. If black people, because this was proven way back in the day, when we had segregation and we had these separate leagues, you had the Negro leagues and then you had the white people in their leagues. I guess it was just called like American baseball, right? The Negro leagues was getting a lot of looks. People were severely entertained, and people were really, white people especially, were really sitting up there loving, like, oh, look at these Negroes, they're really athletic, this game is entertaining, the vibe here is just amazing, the energy is like, oh my god, I can't believe it, right? And the owners of the American Football League, they started taking notice. It was like, yo, we can't sit up there and have them out showing us that we can't be sitting up here losing out on money. We're going to have to sit up there and do something that we don't want to do in order to keep this basically going. We're not trying to have competition, so we're going to absorb the competition, no matter how that is going to cause problems or issues. As long, whatever problems, issues come, as long as the money come with it, we'll sit up there and deal with it. And this is why you had the integration when it dealt with sports. Because case in point, go back in the day and look at American basketball. And then look at basketball when you had integration happen when black men started coming in. It's two different types of sports. The entertainment is on a vastly different nature. When white boys are sitting up there playing, it was looking robotic. And I kid you not, go back and sit up there and look. It was looking robotic and dry as all get out. There was like no type of like rhythm, no type of motion, no type of vibe directly to it. When black dudes started sitting up there coming, there was a type of flair. There was a type of energy that came directly onto that court. And because of that, this is why you even got white boys to this day. They're trying to shake and bake. You didn't have white boys in the 60s and 70s trying to do all of that. Y'all wasn't trying to move like that. It took for black people to come directly up in there to add some soul, to add some flair, to change it up. It's the exact same thing when it happened with football. Look at all of the dances. Look at the celebrations. Look at how black people sit up there and move directly on the field in comparison to other people. It's a whole different beast. It's a whole different beast. Crazy work. Crazy work. So like I said before, you can be a lot of these trolls in the comment section. You can be as racist and all this other type of stuff as you want to be, but you know that there is a clear-cut difference in athleticism when it deals with black people. And there's a clear-cut difference in the type of energy and the light that we bring to a sport versus what anybody else can sit up there and bring. That's why we are here. This is why we are dominant in these sports. It ain't nobody else dominant like us. Case in point, like I said, NFL, basketball. Case in point, just those two sports by themselves. Now, you got some people breaking directly into cars, dealing with NASCAR, car racing and stuff like that. But it's crazy how that came out, but, whatever. And white people are like, oh, no, Y'all can be everywhere else. Y'all not sitting up there coming to NASCAR. This is my home. We don't need y'all here. Why? Don't you want NASCAR to be successful, to basically keep going past your generation? You want NASCAR, 30 generations down the road. So in order for that to keep happening, you are going to need to actually have some other people in there that can bring more eyes directly onto NASCAR. Like I said, it's crazy that white people can be so racist. Y'all would rather allow something that you enjoy to die off versus it being able to continue because other people are now coming into the NASCAR scene and they want to actually be a part and they actually love it and they actually enjoy it just as much as you do. That's some crazy work. That is some crazy work. Crazy work. And I've seen this when it dealt with NASCAR. Crazy work, though. It's so many times that white people have really put their all online when they dealt with NASCAR and how it is that, quote unquote, they don't want blacks, being there. Khalil said they were looking for plumbers until we came in and took over. That's facts. That is facts. You said Caitlin Clark faced racism in the WNBA. Huh? What? No. Yeah, right. Yeah. So let me just be honest. So you're talking about Caitlin Clark. She faced racism in a sport that realistically nobody really watched. Women really don't even watch the WNBA. Like I said, let's go back to the whole thing of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. At that point, that was pretty much realistically the high point for the WNBA. When you had that too, that thing that they put directly out there on social media, that was really the height for, in a sense, I really want to say for a lot of female sports, realistically, to get the attention that, in a sense, it actually deserves, because you got some very incredible women out there that can actually play. But it's a problem. It tells you how concerning it is where women don't even want to watch women's sports. And that's crazy. And take it from a person, I watch female boxing, I watch female UFC. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like I said, I've watched umpteen Clarissa Shield fights, aka the GOAT, aka T-Rex. I've watched that woman sit up there and battle it out with women from wherever. She is just ready on scene. You wanna fight for those belts, you're gonna fight, but you're gonna sit up there and lose. And that's what happens every single time, no matter how people want to sit up there and talk directly about her. She is beating them right back to wherever it is that they came from. And can't nobody say nothing. People try to say something, but like I said, the belts speak for themselves. The gold medals that she got for actually being in the Olympics, representing the United States, of which a lot of people critiquing her have never done ever in their life. They can say that they're patriotic, that they love America, but they've never actually on a world stage represented the United States like she has. Bringing home gold. Crazy work. Crazy work. Now, this is going back to the whole thing dealing with Caitlin Clark and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, the women up there, they can sit up there and play. They are good at what it is that they are able to do. But where is all of that love and support? Like I said, when all of this was happening, right, there was a whole bunch of white people like, oh, magically, like I said, I ain't never seen so many people magically jump on the female sports. And especially at the moment in time, everybody was like, yeah, Caitlin Clark, CC, all this other stuff. It was all the rage. That was just the hippest thing to do during the time. Where are all of those people at now? Because everybody was magically a Caitlin Clark fan. They was magically a WNBA fan. Where are all those people? I don't see people talking about the WNBA right now. What happened? What happened? Where were all of the people buying the all of the paraphernalia and the jerseys and what happened? Where was all of that talk at? Nowhere. All of that died down. What are people doing? Going right back to the men's sports. Going right back to the NFL. Going right back to the NBA, going right back to the NCAA, going right back to hockey. Like I said, it's crazy work. Like I said, everybody will jump on something when it's hot. That's it. Obviously we got some people talking about. That's how I know that people are actually bots in this chat, because I'm looking at a comment here that don't even make sense. I'm like, what is even happening? Khalil says, so was Jordan facing racism when the bad boys was messing him up? And like I said, I'm born and raised in Detroit. Pistons, yo, they was whoo. That boy Jordan had to go hit the weight room real quick. Like I said, back in the days of like the 90s, yo, it was lethal. Like you was catching uppercut, like people were literally doing air combos. You would have thought that this was a fighting game back in the 90s looking at basketball. Like, yo, people were catching uppercuts. They were catching Hadoukens. Like they was catching all the hurricane kicks, everything directly in the air. They were catching everything but the ball during that time. It was lethal back in those days, and it was legal. It was legal. Yeah, but Jordan had to hit the weight room. He had to hit the weight room because that Jordan of that time, he was not going to sit up. If Jordan stayed at that same weight, he was not going to sit up there and make it. He wasn't going to sit up there and make it. And Jordan knew it. Everybody else knew it. But yeah, like I said, that was some crazy work back then. That's some crazy work. Let me see. What else we got directly up in here? Like I said, we got like a lot of trolls just talking on some whole other type of stuff. I'm like, dog, that was like 2, 3, 4, 5 live streams ago. You just trying to sit up there and move the goalposts like somewhere else. This is what I'm going to sit up here and somebody said that the WNBA is a Ponzi scheme. I mean, possibly. I have heard a lot of. I heard some women from the NBA talk about that. The men of they should be getting the exact same pay, and I'm like, nah. If you're able to bring in attendance, you can put people directly into the seats. It's like, yeah. You're not going to tell me that every woman in the W, and like I said, the women of the WNBA, we used to have the Detroit Shock before they took that and moved them, I think, to like Oklahoma or whatever it was. But you're not going to sit up there and tell me, as much as I know that these women are skilled, you're not going to tell me that every woman in the WNBA deserves to be paid the exact same amount as LeBron. LeBron was sitting up there getting money before he was even out of high school. Like that's how hot LeBron was at the time. Like, bro, like that's how crazy that is. It's like LeBron had a contract before he graduated, or when he like literally just graduated. Like he didn't have to touch college. Like it was already done. It was already sold. And you're not going to sit up there and tell me that women in the WNBA is basically outshining. Nah, bro. Like, no. No. And they already placed bets. They placed a multi-million-dollar bet on that man, and they're still making money and then some off of that man right now. I can't list you anybody in WNBA that a corporation made a bet on and they're still making hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars off of that woman. I can't give you nobody. Honestly, I can't. Can't give you nobody. You know, I mean, irregardless, people can sit up there and say LeBron ain't the best. That's cool. I will sit up there and say that Jordan ain't the best. Oops. Because we got somebody called Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that seemingly enough that nobody wants to talk about when it deals with accolades, wins, and all these trophies. Like everybody sit up there and say like, oh, the rings matter, the rings, and right. But how come you never want to bring all of these other people that have actually done more than Jordan directly up there? Everybody's like, oh no, Jordan is just the greatest. He's just directly up there. But I'm like, I thought we were talking about the rings. I thought that was the whole thing that should matter. You got people out here that have more than Jordan. At least one. Just saying. So that's like I said before, that's the whole thing that kills me about the legendary or the best conversations when it deals with this whole thing, and people always want to pedestalize Jordan, and they don't want to identify other people directly out there that has literally done more, stat like everything. But it'd be like that. Ismail said Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Swoops were the closest thing to superstars the WNBA has seen. Yeah, that's bars. That is factual. That is factual. That is 100% factual. Polo said LeBron and Kobe in the beginning of his career to contend with the Celtics and the Spurs, and the Mavs had to use Kyrie, but Golden State took over and won rings on LeBron's watch. Yeah. Khalil said if rings matter, Bill has 11. True. You asking the wrong person directly on that. Hack was like, Seji, who are your best NBA players all time? Man, you asking the wrong person on that. I don't even got like a real, top five like that. I'll tell you like this, because my whole main thing was a little bit different, because I like play style differently. I'll just list you one player that I loved a lot, that I felt that was just dope, and this is just one player. I liked AI. Like I said, everybody got the Kobe's, everybody got the LeBrons, everybody got like the Jordans, and those main three. For me, AI is dope. And that's because I loved street basketball, stuff like that, and I also loved the flair, the type of like attitude and things that AI brought directly to the court. I thought it was dope. And then on top of that, AI was so cold that they had to sit up there and set in a rule. They was like, oh, you crossed over Jordan. Oh no, you can't cross over to God. Bow. That's carries. You can no longer do that. Throw it out. You do it again, you're going to get penalized. That's how cold that man was. That man was so cold, they literally had to sit up there and make a rule in the rule book because he crossed over the God of gods of basketball, and people were like, we can't have this. Like I said, you can't give me. Like I said, for me, that is that basketball wise. For me, AI that is the top of the top for me. Just off of that, and like I said, I was the type of person I loved, like stuff like and1. If you know. For me, I loved and1 basketball and everything like that. Skip to Malou, Hot Sauce, Escalade, the Professor, and all of those guys. Bro, I don't care if you feel like AI wasn't good. I can tell you one-on-one, you're not going to sit up there and be. Let me just highlight. This is the one comment that I'll highlight you on. I don't care what you're sitting up there saying about AI. I just know this. If AI was to step on a court right now and it was a 1v1, a 21, you're not beating them. Let's start there. Let's start there. Bro, let me tell you something. You said I love so street basketball was trash. Let me sit up there and tell this is how I know that people athletically are garbage. I promise you, I don't know who you are. I don't know you from a can of paint, but I can sit up there and tell you. Anybody in street basketball would be able to dust you in a game of 21. I can tell you that. Matter of fact, I make it real simple for you. I'll give you somebody that can play either street or normal basketball. I'll give you the Professor. White boy, still playing basketball to this day. He will sit up there and dust you blindfolded. You can play street or you can play by the normal rules of basketball. He will dust you. And that's a street basketball player. No, actually, if you're talking about the Professor, no, the Professor is not overweight. Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Sure, you did. You played the Professor. Okay, pull up. What's the if you? I got you. Because the funniest thing is when a lot of these people happen to play, everything gets recorded, right? That's how I know you troll it. So no problem. If you played the Professor, where on YouTube is the footage? Where's the recorded footage? And don't sit up there and tell me that, oh, it's just not recorded. I ain't trying to hear that. Where's the footage at? Where's the footage at? Because I can go on YouTube right now and see matches of people playing a Professor. Just going up street balling. Regular game of pickup. Where's the footage at? We're in a brand new day and age. Where's the footage at? Like I said, silence. So next. And then you got the nerve that you want to sit up there and say like AI is fat now, whatnot, or whatever. I don't care in what shape AI is in, he's going to sit up there and dust you. I'm going to be sitting up there putting my money directly on AI. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna put my money directly on him. So, like I said before, because of how AI affected and changed the game, for me, it would be AI, and especially, during that era of how, basketball was being highlighted by other things. Yeah. Now you just listen like random stuff in the comment section. Yeah. I guess you also sat up there and crossed over Jesus and you dunked on Moses too. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. Let me see. I got you, Denise. You're on the previous video of the girl I was talking about. Probably about like an hour and 30 minutes ago. I know what you're talking about, Denise. Yeah. Sham said I had some Iverson shoes and his jersey. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to have none of that. I had and1s though, but I was still an AI fan though. Yeah, Vince Carter. Yeah. Vince Carter changed the game with dunks. Yeah. I remember. And let me tell you something. I didn't really back in the day. Let me just highlight this. I never even really played basketball games like that on the systems. But when it came to that dunk contest, I was at my boy Linnell's house, and I would always be playing like the dunk contest because that was just fun to sit up there and do. Like who could do like the craziest dunks and and all that type of stuff. I really want to sit up there and give a special shout out, if you know, to NBA Street. That was one of the dopest, especially in the hood. I like I said, I can't speak for no other community because I know like white kids wasn't really up on a lot of stuff like that. But when it came to like NBA Street, that is a hood classic game right there. That game was just wild. Like the stuff that you could sit up there and do. You had the boy Dime directly on there. My favorite character was Stretch because during that time, I kid you not, if probably some of my friends might have like some pictures of me when I had on my tracksuit and whatnot. Pretty much, I was like Stretch. I had my fro. I had like my wristbands directly on. Some instances, I might have on a headband and whatnot. Had my earring in and everything like that with my tracksuit with my and1s. That was Stretch was my dude. That was my my favorite character on NBA Street. That was my guy. That was my guy. Polo said Kyrie had way better handles than AI, and he crossed the entire Kobe League Team USA squad. I mean that's cool, but like I said before, going back to the whole thing of like during that time, being able to see Jordan, who was the king of kings, get crossed over by like some young cat directly out. That's crazy work. Jordan was technically on some skis. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, did we just like that was like the shot heard around the world. Like a lot of people couldn't even believe that happened. White people were in disbelief. Like I said, this is why you had the rules were changed when that happened. Like that lets you know like you are a problem when you can sit up there and change. And then on top of that, let me put it to you like this. Also on the fact of like the fashion of AI, like AI like literally did everything that he did just so like these newer kids out here could sit up there and walk. Like all of the stuff, everything that AI addressed, that's what you see a lot of these kids doing now. That's brand new to the NBA. AI was like they were sitting up there getting fined and stuff back then for sitting up there like, oh, you're wearing like baggy jeans. Oh, you're wearing chains. You're coming there with this and you're doing like, dude, it was so strict back then that it was great. They would try to fine you for any and everything just for showing up. You would get fined for the way that you were dressed. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? I'm like, this isn't the Yankees. Like nobody's rolling up here with like a suit and clean cut. Like, yo, this is basketball. Like, what are y'all doing? But no, NBA Ballers, that was a code game too. That was another one. That was another code game too. You said Street Volume 2. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, that's how crazy this dude sounds. That's how I know he trolling. Because I'm like, yeah, nah, dude. Like you would know. You would be in a wheelchair. You would be disabled at this moment in time trying to even, deal with a professor. Like it just wouldn't be. And he's still playing to this day. Like that dude is playing as if it was like back in like 05. I think what was and one? It shouldn't have been like because I had N1s back in should have been like middle school, right? Yeah. So I say like the prime of like N1 that should have been, because I had one of the mixtapes. Man, I wish I could actually pull that back up, because I had one of the mixtapes during that time. I remember actually trying to go down to an N1 competition that they had in downtown Detroit, and they had competitions for people to I think play and like try to join the team. And it was like me and my boys, me, Chris, and Ricky, and we were down there because we were heavily playing, ball during that time. I was more so on the defensive side, and they were more so like the shooters or all around. So it was like I felt like we could have sat up there and did a little bit of something. Especially Ricky, he can dunk. So that dude, he would sit up there and be like, "Wow, catch that real quick," dunk it. It'd be pretty dope. And I had my all black. That was the coldest ball I ever had. I had an all black and one ball, coldest thing directly up there, man. Like, man, that's let me tell you, some good days, man. Good days. Blaze said, I love playing the guy with the big fro. Yeah, that was Stretch. Cliff said Ballers was a decent game. Yep. Denise Hill said he's looking crazy. Gail said I thought Seji was clocking out. Technically I was supposed to, and then we got caught up in a whole different conversation. Somebody said NBA Jam was my ish. Yeah. Blaze said Street Volume Basketball and Royal Rumble and boxing games and Afro Thunder. Oh yeah. All those classic games. That's classic timeline. That's it. Y'all listen to some classics. Cliff said the headband with the cornrows. Yeah, dude, I had those. Dog, I wish I actually had pictures of a lot of these things from during that time, but I really didn't like taking pictures. I can't even explain to you like why, but I just didn't like doing it. So don't really have those pictures. Now I wish I did. The same treatment they're giving to his son. Gail said about AI about to get that 30 mil from Reebok. Yep. Yes, he is. I wish they would do that for a lot more players. NBA Street all day. Sham said, LOL, do y'all remember Globetrotters back in the 90s? Yep. Yes, indeed. Polo said, you've been watching the playoffs. I want the Clippers to win. It's all Kawhi is crazy good. The funny part is I have not been keeping up with any of this stuff. Learn about or hear about it happen a lot of sports, either by way of you guys or sometimes if I happen to flip through online and it comes across my timeline and different stuff like that. But usually I'm just tend to focus on like news and stuff like that, and some video game stuff here and there. Sam said, LOL, I used to love seeing them live against other teams. Oh, yeah. Polo said, I have my eye on Cleveland. Yep. Like I said, this is why I love also doing, like live streams, get to, have some chill, relaxed conversations, like this with y'all guys, talking about a lot of different things, reminiscing, about the past, everything like that. But before this happens to hit the 3-hour mark, I'm gonna let y'all have at it. It's about a good like 7:17 right now. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go be free. Wait, what's today? Because the days are fluid to me because I can't even tell you. So today is Sunday. So yeah, go enjoy y'all Sunday. Go have fun, spend time with yourselves, your family, get your feng shui directly in order. Order some food before everything happens to shut down and whatnot. Gail said, I remember when Seji played ball and would sit on the. That's crazy, Gail. That's great. See, Gail, but I don't wear shorts though, so I don't know what you're talking about. I wear tracksuits, Gail. Tracksuits, the classics. That was my attire. That was the funniest thing is once I started getting attached to tracksuits, that was pretty much my attire. Like how you see a lot of dudes, they just like jogging pants, tracksuits. That was, more so, my thing. Polo said if you watch wrestling, Booker T and Swerve Strickland had words, and Booker said the WWE treated him fair, and Swerve said how if Vince said the N-word to you on TV, it'd be like that. You know, it'd be like, tell me he didn't just say that. It'd be like that. I mean, you know, Vince was it was wild. I'll tell you this. I knew of WWE during that time, and realistically, I actually loved that version of wrestling versus, you know, what we've basically had. Because it was more so like an in your face, more so to see how far we could push it, where it is that we can, you know, in a sense go. And like I said, it was entertainment. So I understood and knew exactly you know, what it was. And, you know, I liked it. So I'd rather, you know, actually take that whole thing. So then we got wait. Then Triple H said that he would never be champion, only the driver. Hey, it'd be like that. Uh Blaze said, I think a new fight night was supposed to come out because the last boxing game was trash. Yeah, they're working on a new fight night. You know, at this moment in time, I'm not sure when it's going to come out. I'm not sure if they're still working on the licensing rights or how the money's going to be distributed or what boxers are going to show up. But yeah, fight night has been in the works for a few years now. So yeah, Sham said my favorite wrestler was Shawn Michaels. Yeah, the Heartbreak Kid. Yeah, that's a lot of them. Yeah, that's a lot of them. Blaze said I like Kurt Angle, Bennett, Booker T, and The Rock. Yeah, I like Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's pretty dope. My favorite wrestler for me was more so Rey Mysterio. Still to this day, Rey is dope. Also Sting, Mankind, and there's somebody else that I can't sit up there and remember at this moment in time. But yeah, quite a few. Polo said, bro, it's Shawn Michaels. Sheen Michaels was the craziest part is, wait, Polo, so how you know that? How you know that? I think on Sham's part, I think on Sham, yeah, Sham is a woman. I think on Sham's part that was a typo. But Polo, how you know that? How you just like instantly? It was just like, yo, you was like, I had watched some stuff with a few exes. Yo, oh man, let me tell you something. That as the young kids would say, that gooning radar was going off real quick. Yeah, I can tell. You know, I can tell. You know, the funniest thing, speaking of which, is going to seem pretty odd and weird. You'll probably know who I'm talking about. This is going to take the conversation way left. But Polo, you'll know who I'm talking about. It's a certain guy by the name of Wesley. I'll let you fill in the rest of it because again, YouTube will act kind of weird on certain stuff. But that same actor is actually subscribed to the channel. And he's actually come through quite a few times because I was like, yo, I know that. I was like, yo, I know that name. I'm like, nah, it ain't who I think it is. And then I sat up there and checked like the Instagram. I'm like, yo, this is actually. I'm like, yo, how did this? Like, it be like that? That's crazy. Shout out to Wesley. Raised a lot of young men. And man, he raised a lot of young boys to be men, and you know, taught them how to talk. If you know, you know, it'd be like that. So yeah, so Polo, technically you're not by yourself. I'm just saying, it's like you instantly just caught that. That's crazy though. That is crazy. But yeah. So we got a lot of people that's actually hip to the channel. So I mean, that's dope. It's great. And I want to also list this something else that also happened because there was a video because there was another woman. I'm not gonna put her name directly out there. In a sense, there was an actress that, I'm not sure how she found this channel, but I was talking about Latins directly out here, so she is a Latin actress. The only reason I know this is because I'm like, what are you even talking about? I looked at some of the stuff that she was talking about, because she had an issue with me talking about like the Latins, different things that I was saying in my videos. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me see who basically you are. I went to the YouTube and I saw a link. I'm like, oh Lord. I'm like, if I click this, I know what it's going to be. I went there, saw the whole website and everything, the whole catalog of everything that she did over the years. I'm like, how did you find this page? I'm like, how? I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I'm like, all right, well, it'd be like that, I guess, whatever. Like I said, D Money said, I learned a lot from Wesley. Yeah, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. Blaze said, who y'all talking about? The first was an actor by the name Black Man, you by the name of Wesley. I'll let you fill in the rest. And the brothers actually subscribed, to the channel, and which was a shocker to me. D Money said, not king shaming, but I know a few of the stars' names, but Wesley was comedy gold. Oh yeah, that dude is that man is hilarious. Let me tell you, if you know, you know. And man is that man got some quotables. That man got some quotables. Let me tell you. Polo said Shannon Sharp about to drop something out here. Yeah, I guess dealing with that case, you're gonna, put out some information, because like I said, you got to defend yourself, going through some certain things. So, you're gonna have to put some stuff out there in order to, shake some stuff up to prove the point. Hey, be like that. Polo Red said, you looked until you had to put in your credit card number, then you left. No. It wasn't even that type of site. It was just like a normal, landing page of, all this other type of stuff directly up there. And like I said, that's something I would not be able to show directly on YouTube at all. Because just even the first picture she had up there, I'm like, can't do that. I would have to max blur out that screen. Sham said, I don't know any of these stars' names. LOL. Tom Gray said, hi folks, I'm a new guy from yesterday. I won't talk too much. Polo said, hey Tom, and welcome. D Money said, Sham, you just weren't vested. But yeah. Like I said before, conversation, man. These conversations that we end up happening is crazy directly out here. Let me tell you, they just lead to unknown corners. It just be going sideways sometimes. But yeah, like I said before, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all people who know about the channel, who are subscribed, who are here, who are entertained by either the live streams or the normal videos that I just so happen to do, or whatnot, or whatever. Shout out to y'all. Much love. It's directly out here. We got somebody in the comment section. That is crazy. Polo said, did you see the video of the Indian woman calling the black woman? Oh yeah. I'll showcase that on a live stream. I want to say about like a week ago. I also did a solo video about that as well too. Sham said, LOL, yeah, we showed that video 2 videos ago. Yeah. So yeah, we did that quite a bit ago, but yeah. Yep. I also got that directly on the channel, along with my opinions on that video as well. And then that's also why I showed off the video dealing with the Indian man who got accused, lied on by a whole group of white people that he was trying to snatch up white kids. Like I said, it was not factual at all. And the video evidence directly from Walmart cameras showed that. D said, Seiji, I found you after I unsubscribed other channels. Know who we really are as a people. I've been more and more Black and Hebrew people. I appreciate your content, brother. Hey, much love, respect, and appreciation. And also shout out to any of y'all who've actually resubscribed back to the channel after YouTube has specifically unsubscribed you from this channel. Trust me, I notice that a lot of people aren't technically here and don't get notifications. Sham, who is one of my moderators on top of other moderators, have also stated that a lot of times I go live, they don't even receive notifications. So if my moderators are not getting notifications, I know that a lot of y'all out here are not getting notifications, little to any at all. So again, much love, respect, and appreciation to any of y'all that happen to show up here every single day, either for videos or live streams or both. D Money said racism sports and DV and the other videos. This stream takes one left turn after another. Yeah, it'd be like that. Lenard said, Seji, have you seen the Recessive Gene Blue song? Yeah, I've been seeing some stuff. Trust me, I've been seeing some stuff online. We got some stuff in the background. Polo said, did you see the African woman saying that she hates Black Americans with all of her chest? No, but I will look that video up. It'd be like that though. Like I said, we are the most hated. Black Americans are the most hated group directly out of this whole planet. And that is just bars. I don't care what nobody has to say. It's not even up for debate. Like I said, when the whole world can come together and tell Black people that, oh no, you're not what you think or say that you are, you're actually this. When the whole world can basically agree and try to do that, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's when the antenna, that's when the spider sense is going off. D said, I apologize for the typos. No. Trust me. I am typo king when it deals with a lot of stuff. Ain't no need to apologize. Trust me. I got typo. Even as a content creator, I be having a lot of typos. So it ain't nothing to sit up there and apologize for. It is what it is. It be happening. Like I said, I'm not great at keyboards. I'm better at controllers, but I'm not great at keyboards. So, I have typos all the time. Nothing to apologize about. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Sham had just sent me the video of the Recessive Gene Blues. Oh man, I'm gonna have to watch that. I will sit up there and watch that. Polo said it's mental warfare, Black gender wars, American race war, international culture war. Yes, it's everything. It's everything is happening. Everything is happening. But yeah, y'all free, man. Y'all can it actually hit that 3-hour mark. I swear y'all started conversations so that it would actually hit that 3-hour mark. I swear y'all was plotting. Y'all was all on the same wavelength. He's like, yeah, we ain't about to let him sit up there and dip off right now. We're gonna sit up here and actually keep him here for that full 3 hours. I swear that's what happened. And you guys were successful because we are now at that 3-hour mark. Currently at this moment in time. I don't know what type of wizardry and sorcery that was, but it worked. Time really flew. Let me tell you, just off of some random conversations. Crazy work. We were at the clear cut 2:00 mark. A whole nother hour just passed. Whole nother hour. D Money said the stream ends when we say it is. That's some crazy work. That is some crazy work out there. Crazy work. D said you're a cool guy to talk to, with brother. Hey, much love, respect, and like I said, I love talking to y'all. Like I said, this is for me, this is fun. This is what makes doing live streams and content enjoyable, when it's that symbiotic type of thing going on where people are getting things directly from it. It's always awesome. Sham said they be holding you hostage. Yeah, that's bars. 100%. D said it is 5:30 here in Colorado. Ooh. So you are about a good 2 hours behind, because currently it is 7:31 here at the moment. Leonard said, I blame Diddy Time for this crazy work. That's crazy. that is crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody that's currently here. I'm pretty much repeating myself for like a third or fourth or fifth time, but you already know what it is. Thanks to anybody who was donated by way of Cash App, Patreon. Shout out to Patreon members. Shout out to the members directly out here. Shout out to anybody who's dropped a super chat. Shout out, much love, respect, and appreciation to all of my moderators who are always here. And pretty darn consistent. Got to paraphrase, pretty darn consistent directly on the channel and on the live streams. Could have been anywhere else in the world, but they decided to be here and spend time with me. So shout out to you guys. Yeah, much love to any and everybody else who have come across this channel, no matter if it was 5, 15, 30, 25 seconds, no matter what it is. Much love. And shout out to the MVPs, to the trolls, to the races directly out there. We wouldn't be where we are at this moment in time if it really were not for people like you. Shout out to you. But yeah, you guys are free. Go have fun, and I will catch you guys in the next video and or live stream. Peace out.